Alright, so I'm gonna start inviting people up. Um. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Fuck, I want this cough to go away.
Real?
Oh my god, it's been torture.
I'll be right back. In the meantime, I got some new prompts.
Alright, let me see him. It's kind of spooked.
Like I said, there's no Third Reich imagery this time around.
Good idea.
If I can find it.
So much like mucus and gunk in my throat. I just want to swallow it.
Alright, moderate the live. In the meantime, I'll be right back.
Alright, my forehead. Let's completely fuck this live up. We're in charge.
The opposite of moderating a live, but.
Hey, let's go.
Pro-choicers tell women who lose their children they miscarriage. Wait.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a typo.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah,
pro-choicers tell women. I think you should say pro-choicers tell women.
that's what I meant to say, yeah. We're just not gonna have a background.
Oh. Oh my god.
Oh, we got a guest. Oh, okay.
Squishy and fat. Oh, it's you. No, my friend.
Whoever's in the request, it won't let me let you up because Protect has this thing paused.
Voice, come back.
Protect. Don't leave us here.
What do you mean fan base? I just saw you come into the live.
How is it paused? I'll be right back.
Okay. No.
Order, keep order.
There we go. That's good.
Hi, 1H.
I like you just pronounce my name, please.
No.
Man, how's everyone doing?
My throat's hurting.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. People don't like me, but you know, that's.
Who doesn't like you? I like you.
I know. Appreciate it. People like smack me.
Well, I mean, with Matt.
What are you doing?
Getting my popcorn. with Maddie. That's kind of understandable.
Oh.
I would think I'd be pretty pissed if I got that message.
I mean, like I'm just built better than, right? Like, if Smoothie said that shit to me, I think that's funny as shit.
Yeah, but you're a guy, you're not a girl.
Sounds like to me you're saying girls are more sensitive. Like, that's just
Well, yeah, they are.
Skill issue.
Skill issue?
Yeah. I mean, you hear how, like, me and Smoothie talk to each other?
Some girls are less sensitive than the other. What's up, Clueless?
What's up?
That was good, dude. But why are you ignoring my message? Like, you just not love me anymore?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Did you message? Hold on.
Where? On Discord. I said if you wanted to VC.
Oh, I didn't see that. My fault.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm on something else on my PC, so like it's not like popping up.
Yeah, I'll go it.
Expansion, Granny. There we go. Perfect.
What is this? Unborn lives matter? Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're definitely morally considerable.
Actually, I changed my view. I'm an anti-natalist.
Oh, you're an
I'm
anti-natalist?
gonna drop you.
I'm gonna go tell your fiance. She's not gonna be happy.
Poker, did you see?
I'm gonna tag her right now.
Did you see Illis versus Kay?
No? What?
it's so dumb.
What
So-
were they like? Yeah, we're talking about.
Yeah, so I think they were arguing. So Illis was arguing virtue ethics in favor of abortion,
Oh my goodness.
and he was asking Kay. He kept asking Kay. He was like, "Do you think there's any? Do you think there's any possible way that virtue ethics can lead to an abortion, like a virtuous abortion?"
Oh my goodness, bro. Like, what? I'm trying to think, like, where was this at?
It was I know 11 posted one of the clips, but apparently they had a debate prior. I don't know if he got the whole thing or not. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Kay was trying to act nonchalant.
Why is there like nobody joining?
What?
There's like nobody joining.
I don't know. You're unaliving the live.
Yeah. Well, no one's joining because I don't know why people aren't joining.
Put a good prompt on to it.
Here, I'll say something provocative and controversial.
Okay.
Maybe someone scrolling, doom scrolling will hear it. I think we should only have abortions for certain people.
Oh, what kind of certain people?
We'll not specify unless we start getting an audience that's willing to come up.
Yeah.
What's the art?
Poker knows what I'm talking about, though.
Your body, my choice.
Your body, my choice.
Your body, my choice.
Yeah, I think women shouldn't be allowed to vote, and therefore the topic of abortion should only be left to men to decide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so down for that because then there'd be less abortions.
Facts.
Look at this pick me.
I want my rights taken away.
Speak for yourself, girl. I like voting.
I don't want to work anymore. I want to worry about bills.
Real.
Khloe Kardashian's popcorn is pretty bomb.
What kind of popcorn?
She came out with popcorn.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Khloe Kardashian?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who Khloe Kardashian is.
No.
Fuck you, dude.
Well, I don't.
Sorry, I don't eat or buy anything from Smex workers.
Yeah, only anime sex workers.
You said anime? Yeah, they don't even exist, so that just sounds dumb.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bro, I just wanted to take a dig at you.
Digging at me.
You digging in, nigga.
Who made that mess?
You the king.
That's right.
Can you hear my change?
No.
Yeah.
So upset, Poker. There's like no good theology panels at all. Like, not even the dumb ones are up right now.
I don't even think there's any good panels.
Yeah, like I joined you on 11s, but they were just yapping.
It was so fucking boring, bro. Might do another uninstall and like leave for a few weeks again.
Protect your lives are always like super boring or crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Boring, but it wasn't one of those two.
No, facts. Wait, Melphoria. Have you been around for like the whole like drama and stuff?
For the what?
The drama stuff.
I know some drama. I just like started like being more involved like I'll say March.
Hi, Suppy. Yeah, but it's like hectic recently, and it's all stupid.
I see them all out lives all the time.
Yeah,
What?
fucking fun.
You'll never catch me paneled in a call out live.
Yeah.
Yo, why is TikTok getting crazy comment sections like IG?
Oh yeah, true. Peppy, join the panel, please.
This person, so I don't know if you've seen, but there's this Asian chick who said, I'm going alone to India for vacation. Someone said, the survival instincts of my SA victims. What?
What? Alright, bro. People need to calm down. Like the long, let's make sure we get people in here.
Yeah, come on, my fingers are hurting.
Yeah.
Protect, I don't want to have
Come
this
to
up
baby.
anymore. Put a panel up.
Sappy, come to bait me. Jesus is the answer. Okay.
That's true.
And Sappy just decided to leave instead of debating
Because,
me.
look, it's because I'm up here and she literally thinks I'm a psychopath, so.
Oh my goodness, bro. That's what I mean, bro. This app is so fucking boring. Holy shit. Like, goddamn.
Look, I told you
Like-
they all ostracized you. They don't let you on panels anymore.
No, they
Yeah,
let me
what?
on panel. They still let me on panel.
Oh,
It's just literally the base was just so fucking boring. Like, and it's only like interesting when I'm like trying to like defend myself, because of like the drama, right?
What's the beef? Why aren't they paneling you? Because I saw a live where they were like tweaking out.
Why am I not? Well, I am getting paneled. The only one I wouldn't be paneled by was like Tiff, but Tiff is like actually like she has like half her brain is missing, like she's actually.
That's crazy.
And that's it. That's it. They were like trying to drop me from the panel and everything, like 11s, right? But I would just be like, keep words. They just like keep like letting me back up anyway. So they just like gave up on like taking me off of 11's live. And then Infidel's live, he just said he'll just drop me for now until he gets like more information, and that's it. Every other live, things have been chill.
Why are they mad at you? What'd you do, bro?
I've got the moniker of a quote-unquote sexual harasser. I said very mean things to Maddie in her comment section, or not comment section, in her DMs as a joke.
Oh.
I was dared to, and then I hang out with people whom associate with doxers or something. So the sexual harassment thing is stupid. This person named Beans is trying to say I'm a sexual harasser because I made a comment about her badge. Sorry to tell you, but she can call me that, and that can be it's her semantics. But most people do not think that what makes you a sexual harasser is like making a comment about someone's genitals.
yeah, no one cares.
This is like
Look,
calling. Huh? I was saying, this is like calling me. Sorry, this is
I
like
just say-
calling me.
No, never mind. Go ahead. I think I'm lying a little bit.
No, I said this is like calling me a sexual harasser because I said Lewis's PP is small. Am I sexual?
No, you would just be a truth teller.
Okay,
But,
yeah, but obviously I don't think people think that that's what makes you a sexual harasser. What makes you want to just probably just be like continuously making sexual advances to which it would make someone uncomfortable, right? And that's something I did not do. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Beans is look, she's on the short bus. I don't think anyone should take her seriously.
No.
She's first of all, horrible debater. She can't debate. She can't track. Can't keep up. They can't keep up with me. All right, Deku type of thing. Right? You guys can't keep up. Yeah, like some of the most horrendous arguments I've heard come from her. So
What did she say?
it's to prompt black for y'all.
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong if it is?
Ollie said it's also probably because you talked to me. Who are you? I don't recall talking to you.
Should be included.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. So wait, is this two different people above me, or is it someone using like their computer for the prompt?
Two different people.
Okay. Dude, that chick that Poochie was debating that I sent you, oh my goodness, dude. Like,
That
I wanted to go up and debate her, but like, I don't know. She probably just would have kept crashing out and being like really weird.
yeah.
I don't know if you heard. He was like, yeah. So he's like, basically, how do you reach truths if you find like morality to be subjective? She said, it's just my opinion, man.
You don't have an argument.
Yeah. Then he was like, so can you have any truths? And she said, well, no. And he's like, okay, so then why does what you're saying like even matter? Like, there's no truth to it. It's just like some like vacuous statement. It's like,
Yeah.
And then she goes, because it happened in the Bible. It's like, all right, bro, lock it up. Would you get not to take away any viewership, but would you get more on your live, or is your lives like kind of shadow right now?
It's gonna be shadow banned because like I haven't been live in a long time. Yep.
Yeah.
I might just leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess I'll follow, or I'll see what's going on too.
Oh wait,
Oh,
Sam,
someone pulled.
who are you? All right.
Samuel.
Hello.
Did you wait for him to leave or something? How old are you?
Samuel's good.
I was like,
Samuel's good. He's good. He's good at coming back. That's a pretty bad echo.
Rip.
Yeah, Samuel's good.
Put a prompt up.
I'm trying to remake it.
Gotcha.
We're not trying to remake it. Holly's remaking it. Wait, what did I miss?
Hmm?
Was somebody speaking the whole time?
Oh no, they were just yapping for a bit.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Samuel, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just doing some lives here.
Yeah.
All right, let me look at it. I think it's this one.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, do we know you?
Maybe 50-50 chance. I've met some of the people on here, not everybody.
Well, like.
Oh wait, I know. It's hostile. It's hostile. Yeah, he's good.
If you know the host is what I meant, you're fine.
Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am. No, yeah, he sent me an invite. I usually come in. I only like to bang on the ops. So if there's no ops in here, like if they don't want
You
to
could
smoke,
stay on.
I'm an
I
op.
mean, you could stay. Yeah. No, she's not.
I'm an op. Debate me.
okay. It's been a while. Okay, so where do I start? Hey, why do you like hurting kids? What's wrong with you? How dare you?
No. What's it called? No LARPing.
Right.
Wait,
That's
Gina
cool.
wanted to say something. Gina, didn't you want to join the panel?
Hey, host, though, real quick, man. I appreciate everything you do, bro. You're doing the Lord's work, man.
Thank you. I do my best.
That's all we're doing on here on TikTok. We're planting seeds, slapping fucking demons in the face.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it bigger. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. See, I'm not very good at this.
Now I'm the host.
Are you really? I don't know how to operate this.
The old box switcheroo, classic.
Oh, there it is.
I can't stay on for long though.
Okay.
I gotta go say hi to my father.
Yeah, Gina, I wanted
Happy
to.
Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Let's get that out there.
Yeah, Gina, you wanted to speak to me, so yeah. So we have this ontological pookie person. What is your name? I mean, what is your age and what is your stance?
Yeah. I'm 18 and I'm pro-choice.
You guys want to take this one at a time? Keep it in order.
Okay, keep it in first gear, basically.
Yes.
Okay, why? Why is my only question, really.
Yeah, sure. We can just see that in this instance there's a rights violation. Obviously, it would be the case you're going to value the sentient being more over a non-sentient being. Presumably, you would agree, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess maybe on the surface level, but then if I dive into it and I try to wear those shoes, so to speak, I couldn't respect any human being that wouldn't give up their own spot for the next one, right? Because that's the whole point of us being mortal, right? Is that we pass on, so we have to pass it on to the next ones.
What? Sorry. Could you expand it a little further? What do you mean by pass it on to the next ones?
Like life, right? Like you won't be here, I won't be here. My dad's already gone. His dad, we're all going to the same place, right? So life is about something, right? Because we're not immortal, we're mortal, right? So life is about something. It's about.
Wait, so are you saying? Wait, hold on. Are you saying to this sheer virtue that since we're gonna unalive, that means we're obligated to give our organs to other people?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's on you, dude.
That's crazy to be honest.
That's a different topic. That's a different topic, bro. But I'll tell you what, if my brother needed something and he needed a kidney and I had two of them, I'd give him one. Yeah,
that's the point, having.
Okay. Well, hey, aren't we all down here on our own individual journey? And after this, aren't we all going to be judged on something? Is there not going to be an after action review? You can get a plus or minus.
Yeah, I don't think that, to be honest, but
bro, for real. No, hey, no shit. It's 2025, and you don't look at the world and think that there's something greater going on.
Me?
Bro, are you waiting for aliens to show up any day?
No, I just don't necessarily care about aliens at all.
Wait.
In case that pro-choice is just better.
Yeah, wait, ontological. You said there's a rights violation. What's the argument that rights even exist?
What's the arguments that rights even exist?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good intro.
I guess the arguments are rights to exist. Premise one, I just take a right to be giving something moral value and giving specific rules for, just in case if you violate those moral values. Obviously, it'd be the case right to bodily integrity. You value your bodily integrity. You make it a rule that people can't violate your bodily integrity.
I don't think.
Wait, but if you define rights as something, they give moral value. Why do we give moral value? Why do we give rights as sentience? Why not any other point?
See, that's the case. The reason why we give rights as sentience is because specifically, unironically, sentience is when you become a person. Prior to that state, I don't think you're necessarily a person at all.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Wait, hold on. What's the argument that you're a person when you gain sentience?
Yeah, sure. If you're asking me what I take a person to be, I just take it, connected.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Goodbye. Yeah, so psychologically connected, and I take that to be a person, aka having qualia, negative or positive. It doesn't necessarily matter to be honest.
Okay, so hold on. So what do you think of? Because this is really interesting to me because I have a sister. My mom, my birth mom before my dad, she had a little bit of a drinking issue. So I have a sister that's been a vegetable her whole life. She don't have no faculty. What do you think about that? Should we just go ahead and unplug her?
No, there could be other outstanding reasons why.
Okay, so what's the bottom line? Yeah, you just hit me with the bottom line, and I'll meet
the difference. I can provide you the difference.
So what is your argument? Is your argument based on like logics and facts, or like just how you
Well,
feel about
wait,
the
wait,
topic?
wait, wait, hold on, hold
Wait,
on.
look, I can provide you like a difference. I can like literally provide you the symmetry breaker. Obviously, to be the case, if you ask me a reductio, I can give you a symmetry breaker. If it is in case, then that would be a reductio. But obviously, this isn't one because I have the symmetry breaker. What are you talking about?
Why did everybody just drop? Well, you said there are other reasons. What would be those other reasons?
Yeah, sure. Like those other reasons is because like number one, there isn't necessarily a rights violation going on. Number two, I would say that it's going to cause disutility to the sheer virtue that this thing looks like us, or this person looks like us. Like for an example, it's like why AI child clone would be wrong, since it looks like us. It's going to be wrong. 'Cause it's going to cause negative disutility.
Wait, what did you just say? AI what?
It looks like us. I mean, you could create it in a way where it doesn't look like us and still be children.
Well, if it doesn't necessarily look at us, then I don't necessarily care. That's like saying, okay, we have this thing homunculus, right? Do you care
Okay,
about
hold on,
this?
let's just back up. Hold on, you said AI what?
I said it's for the same reason why AI child clone would be wrong.
That's an interesting thing. Is that, bro? You know what? Hey, I'm not the best hacker in the world, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and remotely access your shit and look for pictures of kids that you're not related to. Is that fair?
Me?
All right.
Yeah, sure. You can go through my phone. I'm just giving you an example of why this would be wrong.
I'm just saying it's a weird thing to bring up, man, because I don't even think that was on the table for anybody.
Yeah, I used it up as an example. I could have used anything.
That's a
else.
weird example, man. I'm just saying that's a dark place to go.
Well, he was just explaining like for other factors, right? But
I mean, maybe. Well, let's hope so.
I mean,
you like our right?
I mean, you could say the same thing about abortion prior to sentience. It could be wrong. For
Well,
other-
see that's the point. Oh, wait, that's the reason. Since it doesn't necessarily look like us, then unironically, since it looks like a quote unquote.
Dude, the more you talk, the more concerned I'm getting for any
Wait,
child or
wait,
small
wait.
animal in the fucking area.
Simmer down.
Well, if it doesn't look like us, it might be okay.
Wait. Are you saying like aesthetics? Aesthetics is the reason why. Wait, what'd you say? I mean, De Niro, you can jump in if you want.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, are you arguing for like anthropomorphic traits being
Yeah, I'll say.
necessary?
Yeah, I'll say like certain anthropomorphic traits, make it like somewhat okay.
Is this your prerequisite? Is this your prerequisite to
By prerequisite, would
moral
you mean?
value?
Like my sufficient condition? No, it's
Sure.
not my sufficient condition.
What's your sufficient condition?
It's sentence. That my sufficient condition is sentence.
Okay. So if there was a being, okay, so I can give you like, have you heard like the alien?
Homo baby. Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? Yeah, I can give you that. Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, due to the sheer virtue of this. Yeah, no, it's okay. Like due to the sheer virtue that this thing looks exactly like us, right? Obviously, it's going to cause disutility. That means therefore we shouldn't be doing or shouldn't be allowing that act. I think many things cause disutility and we shouldn't be doing.
Wait a minute. What if it provided a utility to society? Would that change your mind?
Provided, okay, you have to give an example of how it provides utility for society.
Well, and then, all right. So let's say the child porn, right? You have a society of very morally bankrupt human beings that watching them makes them feel happy. Would that change your opinion?
No, it's still wrong. To the sheer virtue, it looks like us.
Right. Why does the aesthetics bother us? Why does it bother you?
Are you asking me why? It's just an intuitive thing. I feel like that's an intuitive thing to everybody. Obviously.
Okay, so okay.
Wait, hold on. It's not intuitive. It's not unintuitive to the people, right? Like I said, it provides a utility. It makes people happy that they watch this child material.
There's many things that provide utility, but it isn't intuitive. Like slavery could provide utility, but that's not like.
But you're saying, right? The reason why it's wrong is it provides a disutility to society because it looks like human, looks like us. But I'm giving you an example that it provides a utility to society.
Well, the things can still be wrong due to someone else's intuition, as long as you have like motivated reasons for that intuition. Then yeah. Like I said, due to sheer virtue, it looks like us. Like, let's lock in. Come on, guys. Like.
Okay, hold on. Okay. So would you say like if there's a alien species or anything that just doesn't share the same anthropomorphic traits that they ought to not be considered, even though they have all the same moral value as us?
Repeat the question again.
Okay, let's say there's aliens who come to Earth Okay, and they have all the same like traits morally and everything like that. They just don't have the same like anthropomorphic traits that you value so heavily. Would that be just to unalive them?
Wait, hold on, wait. That's where you guys confused. I don't necessarily value like anthropomorphic traits. I'm just saying it'd be wrong to the sheer virtue of them looking like us. That it's gonna harm other people around them. That's how it causes utility. I value like persons, right? Obviously, it'd be the case, that these aliens would be persons. That's why I think it's wrong to unalive any sentient being. Hashtag W veganism,
Wait, so including insects?
including insects. Well, no, not necessarily. I don't think insects are sentient.
How
Or
would you know that? How would you know that?
Sentient.
What?
Well, this is the pivot to like a veganism debate. There's like a lot of arguments for.
No, but you're saying sentient, right?
Oh my God.
Why are you not applying that to
Yeah.
insects that may also be sentient? You said you don't. You're saying that they're
You're
not.
gonna have to
right?
give an argument why. You have to give an argument why like insects are like sentient and all.
I'm saying we don't know, so why don't you have a precautionary stance?
Precautionary, because
It's pretty defended that insects are sentient because they perform actions only sentient things could, right?
well,
I mean, obviously
actually,
they
not
have the same
necessarily.
behavior reactions.
Wait, not necessarily. Like, look, insects could like perform the same actions as like sentient beings could. Like, there could be a non-sentient being that could walk, talk, even build stuff. We can see this in robots. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Get
okay,
a,
so
get a load of this guy, bro. Get a load of this guy.
I mean, I'm still saying. I mean, how would you know it is or isn't sentient?
well, there's a few
Yeah,
things that
sure.
only okay, well, surely like sentience is only important insofar as the thing is aware of like whatever sum of sensory information it's getting, right? I mean, if there's like an empty head and it's like touching something and reacting to it like nervously, you're not going to say that you morally value that thing because then you
Well, not
value
necessarily.
grass.
Yeah, like obviously to be the case. Like what I mean by sentient, I'm just talking about a subjective experience. You can tell that
Yeah, okay.
animals do have the subjective experience by like having shared emotions. I just don't find it to be the case with insects, to be honest.
Well, it's actually pretty accepted in the literature. I mean, there are like studies where it's like super accepted that there's sort of the scientific law, right? Where similar effects have like causes, right? Or like effects have like causes, sorry. Um, and then we see that like only conscious things can do something like associate a color with a sound, right? Or a color with a feeling or something like that. And then afterwards, disassociate that color with the feeling and then reassociate with a different color. And bees can do that. So I mean, even like fruit flies can do that. But I mean, just say that you morally value bugs. It's like in contemporary ethics, a lot of ethicists just accept that bugs have some semblance of moral consideration.
Yeah. Well, learning this fact, and I would agree. I'd say like bugs have like more consideration.
Right. So you
Awesome.
ban pesticides. So you ban like pesticides and bug spray because it could be
Not necessarily, because I guess those who try to be protecting your own property.
I'd have
Right.
to push back on that as well. I mean, pesticides are incredibly bad for humans anyway. Like that integrated pest management currently just, I mean, that's the last step that they use is pesticides because it's so bad for everything. I mean, most of the time they just introduce like some predator for whatever bug is infesting, or they just move it, or they guard it.
Well, right, because you're saying insects are sentient, or at least I mean.
Well, I'm more talking about.
But sentience does not apply to just humans. So, like, if you say you valued all forms of sentience, so it would also go to insects, which are possibly sentient.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we just remove pesticides. I mean, that's just part of like any person that's trying to push go green is going to tell you to get rid of pesticides anyways. I mean, that's not morally ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I'll ask you a question. So there's this YouTube channel, right, about this guy who's like Venus flytraps, right? And he probably like feeds these insects to these Venus flytraps, right? You find this like morally impermissible?
I don't know. So, Venus flytraps contribute a lot to the environment as well. It might just be like a sacrifice to the means. Also, you could just account for that by saying that either, one, use dead flies. I think a lot of owners of Venus flytraps use like fly corpses, not alive flies. Also, you could just say that even if they are sentient or conscious in the relevant respect, it's obviously going to be a minimal form of conscious experience. So protect bugs when you can, but you're not obligated to like I don't know, not use forceful measures to protect like crops if all other methods fail or something.
Well, yeah, well, specific. Well, right. I mean, some like the video. I forget the channel, but his channel specifically uses alive ones. And he tries to like make them escape from the fly traps, but some of them fail too. But specifically, his stance, right? You said any form of sentience, it has to be at least sentience, right? So, I mean, you have to value a bug more than an unborn child prior to sentience.
Yeah, I mean, see, that also doesn't sound like too ridiculous to me. I find it like cruel if somebody like were to torture a bug, right? But I have no intuitions going at all whenever somebody aborts a fetus, especially with the overriding considerations. You know, even if I were to say that fetuses have some like minute semblance of value, like insofar as it's not okay to make an art project out of fetuses. I mean, the woman wants to, it's for her financial well-being. You could say that it doesn't have functional bodily rights. You could say that the woman is enacting some right she has to self-defense. Like there's a lot of other things that are acting on the case of abortion.
Right.
And do you have a cutoff?
Wait, did we age check you? What's your age?
I'm 19.
Okay.
Do you have a cutoff?
Well, I'm sort of I mean, yeah, I mean, I put a cutoff on sentience. I agree with the last guy, but I've seen like really compelling arguments towards the things that I just said.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, so you value a threshold of sentience as like, you said insects, even has like minimal, you still wouldn't value them? Is that what you said?
No, I do value insects.
Alright. Alright, De Niro, you can talk to him if you want.
Okay, yeah, so sorry. I was just didn't know if it was introducing spicy or if that's a friendly, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so okay, what do you hold like some bodily autonomy stance? You're agnostic on that? What do you mean?
Yeah, so well, I tend to go with sentience because I think it explains all of the things that I value. So I mean, I value my cat, my dog. I value cats and dogs broadly. I value humans. I value all sorts of things. They don't really value plants insofar as
Wait,
you know they don't affect
Tyrannus.
other humans.
So,
Yeah, what's
so
up?
you are saying that you value an ant more than a fetus? Are you
Yeah,
saying that? Okay, so that
I mean,
leads to a
yeah,
lot of no, that leads to a lot of reductios, right? So if an ant is
uh-huh.
more valuable, then would it be justifiable to kill a fetus to protect one ant? To you?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
is it how is that a I mean, that's just stating my position back to me. I mean, you're not really
Okay,
reducing
so
my position, right?
A better reductio would be like, okay, so if there is like no utility to society or anything, a better reductio would be like, okay, let's just say the world's ending, right? And there's a boy and a girl fetus, right? But there's one ant, right? And so we need to do what's best to like continue society, right? And under this
Uh-huh.
base, obviously the ant would go under more suffering because it's actually currently sentient. But you know, basically you're just saying like there's absolutely no value that ought to be given to this being under any circumstance and for any reason. Is that what you're
Wait,
saying?
you said to continue the species?
You have to continue the species, one boy and one girl fetus, and they're going to be, you know.
wait, no, that's not as bad, right?
Oh, no, I mean,
Tyrannus, so you are saying, right?
well,
Our
can I
resource.
respond to what he just said real quick?
Hold on.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, no, you would have an obligation to continue the species.
Okay.
I mean, that's just trivial, but that's obviously like, I mean, a woman, you know, getting an abortion in the U.S. isn't going to increase the fertility rate to like rescue the whole human species.
Right, but do you understand that? I'm just trying to make sure that you have some kind of utility attached to like fetuses, right? You think that they hold like some utility to society if they make it to sentience?
I mean, instrumentally, yeah, of course.
Yeah, if not, you'd be like an anti-nihilist. But yeah, so and then like, and what's your cutoff, by the way? I didn't hear that.
From what I understand, NCC begins around 20 weeks.
Okay, and I mean, it can come as early as 18 weeks. Some people put a proactive cutoff at 12 weeks. But anyway, yeah, so basically, and I guess you're arguing bodily autonomy. So what is a right? You're saying the body.
I'm not arguing. No, I brought that up just if people push back against the idea that an insect is more valuable than a fetus, I could grant that a fetus is more valuable than an insect. Um, and just that there's overriding considerations like bodily autonomy is only granted to individual functional organisms, and a fetus isn't. So it doesn't have any bodily rights. And then the other argument I brought up was, um, like the mother's exercising some right she has to self-defense.
Self-defense. Okay. Can you give me like an instance where you're not actively getting harmed in order to like implement this action of self-defense?
I know an instance where you're not getting actively harmed.
Because yes, I assume that pregnancy is breaking your threshold of harm. Is that correct? And every mother who's pregnant ought to be able to just get a abortion. Is that correct?
Oh, no, I think it would only be considered a harm if, I mean, for 95% of elective abortions in the US, the domestic reasons that I understand is like they want to keep like the relationship with their partner. They want to have like certain financial well-being reasons, so like getting a job, or they just can't support a child. And a lot of them even end up having like more children when they grow up, which would not have happened if they didn't have a fetus. So, I mean, all of those reasons would count in favor of aborting the fetus.
Okay. And so, is there any reason like someone ought not be able to abort a fetus, or just for any reason like that?
Is there any, I mean, yeah, I mean, I might push back on like you have no reason and you just abort the fetus, but that's like, I mean, that's even hard for me to think of, to be honest, because a fetus is just gonna trouble the mother, um, one way or another, and if not, then I don't know that the mother would even choose to have an abortion.
Okay, so let's say I slept with a woman of the opposite race, but I cannot have a kid of that race, because if I had a kid of that race, my family's racist, and so that's gonna lead me to like mental like downfall and anguish, right? So is that a reason that ought to be?
Like your mental well-being will be like harmed because your
my
family.
family's racist, and I slept with a black woman, and my baby's gonna be black.
I mean, yeah, surely you should be able to get an abortion.
Okay, so literally for any reason, eugenics or anything else, it's just permissible. Other than, I can't remember if he just like put something out there.
Eugenics?
Like, yeah, well, eugenics would just be like.
Oh no, I know what eugenics is. I mean, I know that would be the wrong sort of reason. That would be like that would be one of the reasons that would motivate like wrongdoing, right, instead of good doing.
Okay, so I mean, and so you're just leaving it up to society to kind of decide who gets. Oh, is this hobby? Oh, okay, I didn't know if he started talking. Okay, yeah. So you think that there's some? I don't know how you're justifying some actions, but not others.
Well, okay, surely eugenics is the wrong sort of discrimination against the fetus, right? I mean, you're not discriminating against the fetus because it lacks sentience, or because you're exercising like self-defense against harm, or because you're exercising something against rights. Surely it's like a social violation, right?
Okay, what's your principle of harm? I'm not understanding.
Well, harm, it should just be whatever targets a specific sort of organism which has the capacity for well-being, and then whatever you're doing to it diminishes the well-being.
And is that
How would you define capacity?
How do I define what?
Yeah, how would you define capacity?
Classically?
Capacity.
Oh, capacity. That's just, well, I guess that's just whatever is in your ability.
So you're going to say, like, would you say there's going to be a precondition available, like some sort of like biological structure or genetic composition which will deploy the thing you value?
Yeah.
Okay, rights absolute. Should the woman be able to defend herself in any type of way, or why does it only apply to this instance?
Oh, no, rights aren't absolute. Rights are just a heuristic for a moral reason. So generally, something counts towards a moral reason, right? Which may be like financial well-being.
I'll be right back.
Moral
I'll be right back.
Yeah, what evidence that rights exist? Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so by my reduction, you disagree that there are heuristics for moral reasons? I mean, that would be kind of strange. Oh.
What'd you say? Sorry.
So a right is just a heuristic that establishes a moral reason, right? So generally, something is a moral reason if it counts in favor of something being good or bad. And obviously those exist, right? I mean, reasons exist. It's like trivial.
Oh, perfect. Good or bad? So what is bad?
Bad? I mean,
Yes.
that's more like a meta-ethical question.
No, it's a subjective to everyone. Everyone has their own version of bad, right? So I mean, you
Yeah, I
just
mean,
look
that's a meta-ethical question.
right. So I could just leave it up to if society thought that having all like African American babies deleted, right, would be like a morally good or like a morally good thing, then that would be viewed as bad. Like I just don't understand. You have to have like some line that you draw in the sand here, right, of what is and isn't good, and just bad to me is completely subjective to what's bad to someone else.
I mean, wait, are you saying that you accept that view?
No, I'm saying I don't understand how you're like getting this, how you're cashing out bad as like a net harm. Like, what is bad? Anything could be considered bad. Like, is there any principle of harm, or it's just?
Well,
It's
bad
just
isn't a net harm. A moral reason where something counts in favor of a thing being bad, that can be outweighed. The same way that epistemic reasons work.
okay. So, like in this instance of like bodily autonomy, how are you cashing out bad? Is it just potential risk?
Well, I mean, bad is just the in regards to the bodily autonomy, the right is a heuristic in favor of counting, or that counts in favor of something being good. So it's a good thing for a woman to have bodily autonomy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't sign off on that, but I mean,
You disagree that it's a good thing for women to have bodily autonomy?
in this instance, yes. I mean, it. I mean, I give exceptions, right? But I mean, I don't think we're going to come to the same presuppositions of what bodily autonomy is in the same definition that you have eschewed here in this conversation. But nonetheless, I mean, I think that your like principle of harm is just super rocky. I mean, you're willing to delete someone because of their race. I mean, you're willing to delete someone because of.
Well, hold on, I pushed
pretty
back
much
on
any
that.
reason. Wait, no, you didn't.
Are-
You said if someone's in like a racist relationship, right? I'm not talking about eugenics. I said race, okay? And I said if someone's in a relationship, right? And let's say like I just am going to experience some amount of racism. My uncle's racist, and everyone else in my family isn't racist, but my
Oh,
uncle.
right. I thought you were talking about the eugenics thing because you said because of their race. I mean, it's because of the woman's mental health.
Right, but mental health is subjective to the suffering of that woman, and anyone could be basically putting this line in the sand that, oh, I'm going to be experiencing XYZ amount of like harm or like mental health issues, so I ought to just unalive this being because of this. Just it's not tracking for me. Another thing that's not
Well,
tracking.
what?
Okay, so like
Well, no, it's like a reason in favor of a thing. I mean, reasons can be outweighed. That's just the nature of what a reason is. Like, for
reasons.
example, you know the O.J. Simpson case, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like the jury had the reason that O.J. Simpson was innocent given the glove not fitting, but then there's like a bunch of other reasons that outweigh that one, right? Like his like shoe prints were in the mud, he had a motive, he wasn't at home, he admitted to it.
Yeah, so I mean, exactly, but I mean, but these reasons would not even be in front of a jury, right? These would just be like subjective reasons that's not going to any objective rule, and it's just going to be something that just applies, right, in to someone's like instant of what they can like what they consider to be harmful or like mentally damning to them can be completely different to like someone else's version of mentally damning to them. So it's just like basically blindly applying this value of harm and just saying like it's like a reasonable thing, right? It's completely subjective to each person's value of what's reasonable. So like
Well, I intentionally avoided any meta-ethical talk. What are you saying that I said is subjective?
reasonability. You said it's reasonable. Some it's odd to be left up to the mother, and it's like reasonable.
Well, all of the facts about reasons are objective. I mean, unless you want to say that the concept I have of a reason is not the concept I have of a reason, or it's like subjective that that's the case. But I mean, that would just be strange.
Okay, so let me give you an example then. Okay, let's say person number one, right? I tell this person that I hate them, right? And
Sure.
that person just takes this like no problem. Okay, that's person number two. He like I tell them that I hate him, and he like gets ready to unalive himself. Now they both
Okay.
had the same reason, right? But they both got affected differently. Okay, so I mean it's just completely subjective to that person, and that's why I think there ought to be laws in place to stop reasons like that or anything like just having like it completely left up to someone to decide what is right or wrong in these instances usually isn't something that is like an overall net good in these instances.
So, okay, and so just to be clear, what you're saying is subjective in my instance is the woman is being harmed. That's a subjective thing?
Yeah, the woman's everyone like has their own okay. I don't know how else to put this. Okay, so let's just say one woman's value, one woman's harm. Anyone can come up with their own reason of harm, right? Don't you think that there should be like some objective view on like if this is right or wrong? Like you just said, a jury in this instance, right? I don't know if that's going to be like applicable to like normative position in this instance, but I'm just saying, right? Like, if there should opt to be like some objective stance or like law put in place that stops like someone's from doing something that could be immoral, and you obviously don't agree with like all reasons for abortions, even though you haven't pushed back on some pretty unethical ones in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just trying to like cash out what you consider to be reasonable, and that's going to be subjective to each person, right?
So, okay, yeah, I mean the principle of harm thing, that should be considered objective. I'm not very sure where you're getting the subjective part. Like, the reduction of well-being targeted at a specific organism, and that specific organism is something with sentience, and then whatever reduction of well-being you want to go for, and then it's like whatever, like counterfactual depriving whatever. I mean, all of those statements combined, those are all like facts about like it's a fact if somebody has a reduction in their well-being, right?
Wait,
I mean, if I like punch somebody, it's a fact that I punched them.
right. I think what he's trying
Okay.
to ask is like, I think he's trying to ask, right? What if a person doesn't think they're harmed? Are they harmed?
If a person doesn't, I mean, no, they could be harmed and then just not think that they're harmed.
Like, what if you punch somebody and they actually like that you punched them? Like, it actually gave them pleasure. Would they be harmed there?
Oh, then it's gonna like you're sort of comparing the health of the person, like how much damage I caused to them.
Well, I mean,
Um,
I'll give you credit. Yeah, definitely physical harm. Yeah, but like psychological harm. Like, what if they
well,
enjoy?
no, right. I'm just saying that well-being, like all of these sorts of things go into what well-being is, right? I mean, your well-being is going to be things like pleasure, knowledge, your act like biological, physical health, right? Um, and then like if I like punched them and they just felt like unimaginable pleasure, nobody's going to think that I harmed them, right? But if I like punched them and they felt some pleasure, but I also like broke their jaw, they're going to be like, whoa, what? You harmed them because I damaged their physical health.
Right. So, like, what if they right? What if you punch them, you break their jaw, and they like sue you or whatever, and they get like $1 million? Would that be harm? Because like they benefited from that, right? Like, what if they specifically planned ahead of time for you to punch them and break their jaw, so that can happen, so they can like get benefits from the legal system?
I mean, well, there's going to be more moral considerations other than just harm acting there. So I wouldn't be able to say what is bad or good. But if they like planned ahead, um, yeah, I mean, counterfactually, yes. Deprivationally, no. Depends on whichever one of those you want to go with. Oh, sorry, I got that backwards. Deprivationally, yes, because then I'd be depriving them of money. Counterfactually, no, because that's not really considered whenever you're weighing out the different like courses of action.
Wait,
No, but the question is, can you harm a pre-sentient fetus? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah. So which means your version of harm is incomplete, right? So for example, I can give an example. If you were to inject the poison into a pre-sentient fetus, right, and that poison will only be kicked in when it becomes a neonate or becomes a teenager, whatever, right? Are you causing harm when you're injecting that poison to that pre-sentient fetus?
Whenever you're injecting something or a pre-sentient fetus with poison and then it affects them when they're sentient, then it would be affecting a sentient organism. So, I mean, yeah, that would be a harm.
No, that's not a question, right? I'm saying, are you causing harm when you are injecting that poison directly at that pre-sentient fetus at that current time? Are you causing harm?
Yes.
Okay, so you can cause harm to a pre-sentient fetus, right? Because you are
Yes.
actually depriving the pre-sentient fetus of a future experience, right? Yeah, so
No, you're not
deprivation
depriving them of a
future
future experience.
Yeah, deprivation of future experience is also a harm that you did not include in your in your picture, right? Of harm, right? So it's
Did
incomplete,
you hear
right?
what I just said?
Can you
So
repeat?
you're not depriving them of a certain experience. Like what experience am I depriving them of?
So in that previous scenario I gave, you are depriving that fetus of his or her future experience, right? If
Well, that's just
being left
repeating it.
alone,
Like what
no, if
experience exactly?
no, if being left alone, right, that fetus would develop sentience and
Did I
rationality,
leg
right?
out or did he leg out?
Sorry.
I can hear both of you.
Okay. Sorry, you cut out for me, Newman.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, if the pre-sentient fetus were to be left alone, if it, in terms of biological continuity, right? I mean, it will naturally develop sentience and rationality, right? Therefore, it will develop future experience when being left alone, right? So it has negative rights, right? I mean, but that's not the main issue, right? The main issue is we are actually depriving the fetus of something, and that is also causing harm, right?
Well, I'm just trying to get, so in the example of whenever I inject like a pre-sentient fetus with some liquid and then the liquid affects the pre-sentient fetus once it develops into a sentient teenager.
Yeah.
What experience am I depriving it of? I don't understand. I mean,
Yeah,
is
you
the
are.
liquid supposed to like end them? Is that what you're saying? Like, is
Oh
it
wait,
poison?
why are you so concerned about uh, the identity, right? I'm more concerned about the future, right? The future of that fetus, right? It is being
Well,
deprived,
why would
right?
I care about that?
I mean, I would say a better reductio, another one you can use is, what if the mother specifically gets a surgery to remove all of its limbs off, purposefully make it blind before sentience, right? And she wants it to suffer when it gains sentience. You think this is okay?
I mean, surely like like if it is born blind and without limbs, if it if it actualizes sentience, I mean, yeah, that would still be accounted for under my account of harm,
Right.
right?
Why do you say that you don't care about depriving someone else's future experience? Like, is that not important to you? Because you are
Well,
actively depriving
by
someone
you
of
said
its
someone?
future experience, right? Yeah.
Well, if by someone you mean a person, then yeah, I would, I'd be dissuaded from
Wait. So you
depriving them.
think? No, wait. So you think a fetus is not human and alive?
What? No, that's
Is
what
a
are you
fetus?
talking about? I do
Is
think
a
a fetus is human
fetus?
and alive. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So if a fetus is human and alive, right? Is it okay
Uh-huh.
to deprive him or her of future experience? That's my question, right? But you don't. But you said you don't care, right? You don't care,
Like
right?
of all experiences, sure. I mean, I don't think that a woman should, give her baby fetal alcohol syndrome because then it's targeting a sentient entity. But if no, if you just mean like in regards to abortion, obviously not, or
Wait,
else I wouldn't be pro-choice.
but it wouldn't be sentient yet. So why would it matter?
Well, it would affect a sentient organism, would it not?
So you have a conjunct of future and what past sentience, or do you have like a disjunct? Because it's not sentient in the moment.
Well, for my principle of harm, it doesn't really regard any temporal notion. Just, I mean, a sentient organism would be deprived of proper well-being in the future, right? If the woman drank a bunch of alcohol or something, or if you like made it limbless and blind.
No, wait. So now the question boils down to: do you value future experience? Yes or no? So, for example,
Um,
I can give an example, right? So, for example, a true coma patient, right? Hypothetically, that coma patient does not have past experience and does not have current experience, but that coma patient will gain sentience within 10 minutes, right? So, do you think we should unalive it?
you should unalive it? No, I don't think that you have an
So,
obligation to unalive it. That'd
okay,
be weird.
like, do you think future experience is more important than past experience?
Um, Maybe? No. Actually, probably not.
Yes or no? So okay. So you think past experience is more valuable than future experience? Then I give you one more example, right? If a true coma patient has past experience, but has no current and future experience, right? Is it okay to unalive it?
If they have, wait, they're still alive, but they have past experience?
No, no. he's in true coma, and there is no way for him to be to have any sort of future experience anymore. So he's like potentially brain dead, right? Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't have an obligation to unalive the thing unless like there's some other reasons counting against it, like you need to save up space or you don't want like I don't know, like a rotting corpse in the
What?
hospital.
So
Wait, hold on.
wait. So
I think
wait.
so.
So no, wait. So what you're saying is a true coma patient with no past and present experience but has future experience may or may not be okay to unalive. But if a but if a true coma patient has completely no future experience but has past experience, then you think it is permissible to leave it alone. I mean, isn't that absurd? I mean, surely the former has more moral value, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, okay, so whenever you said should I like leave it alone, or should I, sorry, you said should I end it, right? Should means that there's some reason in favor of taking away the life of the future coma patient, but there's none. So you shouldn't do anything. There's nothing that you should do in that situation. You're not morally obligated to do anything.
No, wait.
I mean, it's a morally neutral
I can
situation.
ask a simpler question. So in that two scenario, right?
Well, real quick, because you said quite a bit there. I want to.
which
Well, I want to
patient
get
is
to
more
what.
no
Hold on.
which
Well,
which,
why are you
which patient is
steamrolling?
more
You said a
valuable
lot.
to you? No, which patient is
What?
more valuable to you?
That's fine.
That true coma patient with future experience, with potential future experience, or that true coma patient with completely no future experience?
Look, I mean, you said a lot before, so you also said you think I morally value something with past experiences more than something with future experiences. No,
No, just
I mean
that
something with
question. Right?
past
Can you
experience.
answer the question? It's a yes
Well,
or
you
no
said a
question,
lot
right?
before. Well, you said a lot before. I want to make sure you're not trying to steamroll me, right? So you understand what I'm saying, or do you? I mean, we can move on, right? I just want to make sure you understand what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can repeat.
Okay,
I mean,
awesome.
yeah. So
Okay, awesome. Right. Oh, wait, you wanted me to repeat? I mean, the repetition is just there's no moral difference between something with future experiences and something with past experiences. There's nothing you should do with regards to them without any consideration of other moral reasons. Um, and then, okay, so was the other question with regards to my harm principle, or was it just a question about like what do I value?
yeah, because you said you value past experience more than future experience, right? I've given you that this particular example. So which
What?
patient has? What do you mean?
Well,
I just
I
want to
just
say
said that's
that's yeah, I want to say that's not what he said. What he said specifically was he just doesn't value future experience, or he probably doesn't value future experience more. An entailment of that isn't that he values past experience more or something. It could just be that he values them equally.
uh, um, thanks, Lex. So, and then the other question you gave me, you want to repeat that? Actually, before you repeat it, is this with regards to my harm principle, or what do I morally value broadly?
I think it has to do with both, right? Because I would think your principle of harm is incomplete, right? Because because I've mentioned about depriving a fetus, and that is a harm, right, of future experience. So I think for me personally, right, I would think future experience is very important. I've given you that example, right? I would think a true coma patient with future experience is more valuable, has more moral consideration than a true coma patient that is brain dead, right, with no future experience. That is, I think, intuitively obvious, right? Yeah. So
Well, look, do you think that you're obligated to, like, let's say that instead of the patient's going to wake up in 10 minutes, do you think that if there's like a switch next to it, like a lever, you're obligated to flip the lever and then, it'd give it sentence?
no, I think he or she has negative rights, right, and should be left alone because there is a potential there, right, and we should not actively just deprive it of that potential being actualized. So
Well, I
Well,
think
disregarding the deprivation, like if you had like some empty clone, right? Like a doctor synthetically made like a human body, and I could like I could switch a lever and it would like give it sentience. Do you think I'm morally obligated to?
no.
no,
Okay. But so what is it about like you don't think I have any obligation whatsoever to enact anything upon like something that's gonna wake up in 10 minutes? That's what I think.
Like, but why? But why should you, right? Because it would gain sentience within 10 minutes, right? So like
Well, okay,
that's
you're
completely
just saying
different.
that you're
That's
just saying that
completely
I
different
shouldn't
from.
end it, right? You're saying I should not just like get rid of the um coma patient that will wake up in 10 minutes.
I think that's
Yes, because I think future experience is very important.
Well, okay, and then so if I mean let's just say that it's like a synthetic clone again, right? But this time it'll wake up in 10 minutes. If I like swapped the lever, it would like greatly harm my financial well-being, my like relationship with my partner. Do you think I'm like morally obligated to flip the lever?
No, it flip the liver as in what?
To give
To
it
alive.
sentience. Yeah, to give it sentience.
No, but if being left alone, it would gain sentience itself within 10 minutes, right?
No. I was gonna ask that afterwards. So you agree that you don't have an obligation to flip the lever if like it's gonna incredibly damage your career opportunities, your financial well-being, your well-being in general, like relationships with your partner, and whatnot.
Okay, so if I were to not flip that press the button or anything, right? It would be unconscious forever.
Yeah.
Is that the?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a question. I mean, would that change your mind, or like, what if it already was sentient and it was going to hurt your career even more? Would you still think you're obligated in that case?
I mean, surely once the fetus gains sentience, then its moral consideration is greater than whatever it had when like it was merely human and alive, right? I think most people agree with that, because a lot of the time people give grape exceptions, but they wouldn't say that it's okay to like off your child if they were a product of grape, and they were born, and then like just the border between those two things is sentience. Um,
But
so like what?
yeah, sorry.
Yo, what's up?
Well, I mean, if it's
Yeah, I think wait. I think that example is not exact, right? Because when we talk about abortion, we are talking about a mother and her child, right? So I can give another scenario. If a mother is financially burdened, right, and she has some sort of mental hardship, right? Is it okay for her to unalive her neonate? No, right? That's
Her
the
what?
distinction, right? Neonate, right? Which means newborn, right? A newborn. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're saying that if the woman, or if the newborn did not have sentience, you're saying it would still not be okay to.
No. If the mother has some sort of a financial hardship or some sort of mental stress, right? Is it okay for her to unalive her newborn?
No, yeah, I'm defending that. It's not okay to do that. But the difference between like the reason that it's okay to do it before it has sentience and it's not because after sentience is just because sentience is something that we all value.
Okay, here's my question.
Can I ask you a question, Taiwanese? Oh, sorry, De Niro.
No, you're good. You can do that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just joined not that long ago, so I didn't get to hear your whole argument. But is sentience necessary or sufficient for you to grant moral consideration?
It's sufficient.
Are you vegan?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of talked about this earlier. Yeah, he values insects as well.
I'm sorry, what was that? I can hardly hear you.
Well, he values insects as well, so he's pretty consistent compared to the other sentients that they use.
I think that
do you think that just one more question? Do you think that you have to experience harm to be harmed?
You have to like what do you mean by experience? Like just
do you think you have to? Yeah. Do you think you have to have an experience of harm in order to be harmed? Let me give you an example. So let's say we're like roommates. We're like best friends, right? And I'm just like I'm doing a load of laundry, and you're like jeans from like 2 weeks ago are laying on the ground, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go. I go through the pockets just to make sure there's no like pens or anything. And you have a lottery ticket in there, and you forget that you have purchased this lottery ticket. And I go and scratch it off, and it's a winner. And I take the money, I put it in my bank account. You never know. You have no idea.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Have you been harmed?
Yeah, you've been harmed in that instance.
You have been harmed? What kind of harm would that be?
well, you're depriving the person, or I guess me, you're depriving me of like more money.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just making sure. Sorry, I just okay. Anybody else can take over. I'm door dashing, so I don't have long. I've got an order coming in soon.
I was going to use reductio similar to that you took down my.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, something like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's already been said, like the comatose states and stuff like that. Like, but like the reductio that I use, kind of similar to that, is like, let's say they're not currently sentient because that's like your prerequisite or whatever. But let's just say they're not currently sentient, and I give this, and let's just say there's like a doctor, and this doctor like gives this lady a massage, but she never knows about it, right? And it's unconsensual, but she doesn't know about it. So it's basically like causing no harm to her right now, and she may never know about it. And it just happens again and again and again and again for 40 years, right? And then she finds out 40 years later. Did the harm start at 40 years, or did the harm start, did the harm start like as soon as she found out, or did it start 40 years ago?
I'm not even sure that I would consider that in the domain of harm. That would probably be in the domain of like preference to satisfaction or something. Like that might not have anything to do with like well-being reduction.
Okay, what do you consider to be like well-being?
Okay, well, well-being is like this conjunct of different facts about the pleasure states, or I guess just broadly the mental life of a given sentient organism, the health of the organism, so the physical health of the organism. So there's sirens where I am. Like the wisdom of the person, so how smart they are. Might be regards to like how free they are. More agnostic on that one. I think that's it.
Okay, one thing that you're leaving out in like most of your reductios is going to be like the active consent, right? So I mean, it's just like if this light switch was on the wall, and then if you had the obligation to flip it, then you're fine. I mean, it's not like you're leaving out the act that this of like I'm trying to like TOS my way through this of like procreation, let's just say. So it's not like the light
Sure.
just spawned on the wall, right? So this would be something that like if you put me in a situation where like the reductio that I like to use instead of that is like the I'm sure you've heard like the Kid in the River reductio, or like multiple versions or thereof of it. But basically like just a reductio that I would give is, so the first, I have two reductios. So the first one would be like if you've seen a kid like swimming in a river, right, or like drowning in a river, and you knew that you were going to like fall and twist your ankle, but you were able to save the child, right? Do you think that you have like the moral obligation to do so?
Hello.
Wait, what?
So I got a call. Sorry. We were at like, okay, here's my kid in a river reductio.
Oh yeah, my Kid in a River reductio is going to be like, let's just say there's a kid drowning in a river, right? And you have, you see this kid, he's drowning in the river, and you're able to save this child's life, right? He's a baby. And so you get him out of the river, but on your way out of the river, you twist your ankle. You have the foreseeability of knowing that this is the case. Do you have the moral obligation to do this?
Yeah, of course you have the moral obligation to save a child.
Okay, well, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm just like trying to tie this into like bodily autonomy. So would you like? Okay, so you're just gonna say because it's not sentient? Is that your?
I mean, well, surely like then the 100% of elective abortions, all the reasons that are given domestically, like in the U.S., all those are going to be more than just rolling your ankle. And then, yeah, I mean, the child is a lot more important than a non-sentient fetus.
Can you give me?
But I think that's given.
Can you give me a
Sorry?
Can you give me a reductio like where there is like going to be like consent taken in place? Sorry, am I cutting out? Is everyone else? Wait, what?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was going to say, like, can you give me like a reductio where like the act of consent is also taken into consideration, but it's something that basically, because it just seems weird how you're writing off the fact that okay, there's going to be some amount of like I guess principle of harm that you're applying here.
Sorry, I got another call. Can you give me a second to text this person?
You're good, dude. You're good.
Okay, you can keep talking. I think I can still hear you when I'm off the live.
I guess we can talk to Alexa then in the meantime.
Yeah, what's up, Lex?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Are you pro-choice?
Yep.
What's your age?
Oh yeah, sure.
What'd you say?
Your
Age.
You keep talking over each other. I can't hear you.
Your age. Your age.
Oh, 19.
All right, you can talk to him.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, that's my cat in the background, by the way.
Oh, no problem. I got my dog's jumping on me. um, so, why are you pro-choice?
Well, I just think most elective abortions in America tend to lead to a net better outcome than if they hadn't occurred.
And what's your evidence for that?
Well, there's a study by BMC Women's Health from, I think it's 2016. I could be completely wrong on that. But basically what it says is like roughly, I think it's 73% of elective abortions off the top of my head tend to be because someone like would have to uproot their life if they were to actually get the abortion. And I understand that, like, say if I had to, like, personally, this is just me and most people that I've talked to, if they had to uproot their life to do something, they're kind of unlikely to do it in the future, especially when there's like statistics that show that people who get pregnant as teens tend to have less kids in the future than like people who got pregnant later on in life. And so it seems to me like what would bring the best outcome here, that being the most amount of life and the most amount of people having experiences and the best experiences for those people that are alive would be to allow these women to get abortions so that they have more kids, or they're more likely to have more kids in the future, and those kids will have better lives.
So, are you arguing quality? Are you arguing like quantity of life saved or quality of life saved?
It's both. I'm a
you think
utilitarian.
that-
You just understand it. You can just understand it as utility.
Wait. I'll just ask a question, right? Let's
Yeah.
say these women get these abortions, right? What if their life gets objectively worse? Like, what if they get even poorer than they were prior to the
If
abortion?
they get worse from the abortion?
Yeah, like their financial state becomes even worse.
Oh
because of
yeah.
it.
Well then I think the abortion was bad. Obviously.
Well, right. So, like, these women could get these abortions and still be in the same situation. What does that accomplish?
Well, yeah, but do you think it's more likely, given I have a kid or I don't have a kid, that I'll have less money?
I don't know.
Okay, do you think, given I need to use my money to support one or two lives, that I am likely to spend more money? Which one do you think I'm more likely to spend more money in?
2 lives. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm less likely to be in a worse financial situation, given I only have to sustain myself, right?
No, I don't think in all cases. I think if you have someone else to
Yeah, I agree. I agree, not in all cases. That's why I said
Well,
it's
no,
less likely.
Well,
Do you
yeah.
think, Lex? Do you think that like not having a lot of money is worse than severe psychological trauma?
No, obviously not.
Wow.
What you asked me? If
What do you
it's- you asked me?
I
asked me if having-
asked
you
Lex
asked me
if he
about having-
thinks being poor, living in poverty, is worse than having severe psychological trauma.
Yeah, I said no, obviously not.
Wait. Hold
Okay,
on.
so do you know that abortion causes severe psychological trauma long term?
Yeah. Who have kids really young, whenever they can't take care of kids, tend to mistreat their kids, to neglect their kids, and to give their kids really bad upbringings.
Do you have the empirical evidence for this?
I'm in the middle of my. I'm in the
No,
middle of my
I know.
sentence.
Do you have the empirical evidence for this?
Do you want me to like give it on the live right now? Because we can go find
You
it.
can DM it to me. You can DM it to me.
Okay, sure. I can do it after this live.
Hold on. I think. Hold on. I think Taiwan News is back, so we have to conclude this.
No, what's up?
Taiwan News.
Here, I can go for like 5 more minutes. I gotta do something though.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh.
There was something else I was trying to discover about you. I
Okay,
remember
you
there was
can
something
continue.
else. Yeah, sorry.
You can
Remember there was something else I was trying to discover about you, but anyway.
Wait, can I
uh,
actually clear something up real quick?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. We sort of got caught up on what I think harm, like harm is in regards to like applied ethics. There's like a lot of different reasons aside from just harm that go into me making moral decisions. That's just like one sort of reason. So that might be what's confusing you guys if you're giving me these reductias, because that's just not the only consideration I have.
do you think you have more like responsibility because you keep on using that? Or like reasonability to take care of something that you created, and then your harm value like would go up even though that person is not actively experiencing sentience, depriving them from future sentience would be like immoral.
Okay, so I'm sorry. The first part is do I think I have a responsibility to something I create, and then what?
and then like so the principle of harm would have basically like at least I don't know. I guess your bar of harm would have to raise, right? Because now you're responsible. You're the one who put it there, and so I would basically just say like, so are you morally obligated to basically more morally obligated to this being and make sure that it doesn't get like deprived of future experiences?
No, I don't. So I don't think that you have a responsibility to things that you create by itself. I'm not sure that that's even a moral reason.
Okay, can you give me like a example of this? Something I created that I don't have a responsibility over?
Um, like I don't know if I like grow a tree.
Does a tree have like the future potential sentience that I'm looking for in this instance?
Well, I didn't understand the other parts if that was something relevant. What? Sorry, what was the full thing?
Okay. So, three things. First thing is, do you have a moral responsibility to something you created?
Someone was detected at your front door.
The second thing is going to be, if yes, you are more morally obligated to that thing, do you have the foresight in making sure that thing does not get deprived of like valuable features, etc.? And you say,
Okay.
yeah, go.
I see what you're saying. So, so in comparison to all other like agents, right? If I'm the one that created something, am I responsible for protecting that thing from harm? Like, um, solely? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe not
Um,
solely. You know, there's
okay,
people
well,
who
more than other agents, is that what you mean?
Sure.
Wait, are you talking about a state of dependency? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, now I just don't understand the question at all.
Wait, hold on, no. You had it. Just go.
Okay. Um, that's gonna sway on the relationship that you have towards the thing that you're responsible for. With regards to abortion, the relationship that the woman has towards the fetus, maybe like a maternal one, but it's not the relevant maternal one such that you have any sort of obligations towards the thing. And that's just because genetics is not the only thing I consider when something is a mother. Obviously, like adoption matters, and then whoever's the guardian of the thing that they adopted, and then like the adopted mother has a maternal relationship and has like moral obligation. That just is not the thing that occurs, given the thing is not sentient. So that might be the case if they had like a proper relationship, and that could be other things, right? Like if you're a friend with somebody, you might be more obligated towards them, father, mother, brother, sister, whatever. But that's if not, then all other agents are equally as viable for the thing. Because I think people have.
Along those lines, do you think that what if the father doesn't value sentience?
Um, yeah, I mean, sorry, what
What if the
what are
father
you asking?
doesn't? What if the father doesn't value sentience? What if he values his child even though it doesn't have
Oh, I
sentience?
see. Um, so yeah, I mean that would be like a way bit like that would be like a large moral reason for the woman not to get an abortion.
I'm actually
Right.
surprised.
You know that he has no rights, correct, at all.
The father?
Yes.
Yeah, if the mother wants to get an abortion, she can. The father has zero rights.
Or if he.
Oh, I mean, well, okay, so so legislatively, I agree with Lex. That's the position I'm gonna hold, like the utility maximization thing. This is just like moral. Like I'm just talking about my moral epistemology here.
Well, yeah, no, but your whole premise is like that abortion prior to sentience doesn't cause harm to sentient beings, and I would argue that this is false. So, if I were to ask you, like, why do you think? I'm presuming. Do you believe that? I don't know if I can say it on the live. Necro is bad.
Yeah, I mean the type of relationship that somebody has towards like a human corpse is gonna be one where you're not supposed to do that.
I agree.
Right. What is the harm maker?
It's not a harm. There's nothing about harm in that
Why
situation.
should
That's
it?
like
Why should it be immoral, or why should it be illegal?
because it's a violation of a certain type of relationship. Oh, why should it be illegal? Well,
Yeah.
so
What?
people's minds work in a way where whenever you do that, it like harms their mental life such that it reduces the amount of gray matter in their brain.
Right. Well. Do you think the nature of necro is immoral? Right. Let's just say. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's immoral. I
Right.
thought, well,
So
it
you
depends on
so
which way
you
you're
would
going.
you would agree that mental harm is a form of harm.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is, in the case of abortion or just conceiving a child, let's presume we're talking about consensual schmucks here, because I don't give a shit if a rapist wants his child. Let's say this schmucks was consensual, and she's pregnant, and this father doesn't value sentience. He values his child from conception and all that his child could be. He values fatherhood, these future experiences with his child. Do you not see the harm done to a sentient person who has no rights to protect his child?
Yeah, I mean, the father may be being harmed, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that's a moral reason. I'm just
Okay,
not
so
sure that it outweighs in most elective abortions.
I'm going to ask you one other question, because part of I'm also vegan, so that's why I'm really interested in talking to you. I also DM do something, so it's not like spam, or I'm not like trying to dox you. I'd like to have like a little bit longer conversation, but I don't want to interrupt De Niro too much. But
Well, I gotta go. I mean,
oh, you have to go.
I'll answer this
Darn
last
it.
question though.
I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah,
Oh no.
have you heard of paper abortions? And if you have, how do you feel about those?
Paper abortions?
Yeah, paper abortions.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically
Okay, yeah, let me enlighten you. So, I think that abortion harms fathers. I think it harms women too, and I think that it harms society. A paper abortion is an abortion that the male can get. So, like, let's say the child, it's not like in law right now, but it has been proposed by men who want to be equal to women, because right now we're giving women the right to unalive their child, no questions asked. And so men want to have the same right. So they want to say, well, you know what? I had schmecks, but I'm not ready to be a father because it's going to derail my career or whatever. I don't want to be responsible financially for this child. They don't have the option to do this currently. So there has been some legislation that's trying to get passed. Fathers are fighting for, or men are, excuse me, are fighting for this. Do you think this would be harmful to women in general who want to keep their children?
If the father gets to have some sort of say in whether or not the woman
Yeah, he
gets an
gets to
abortion.
opt out. Yeah, he gets he's getting a financial. It's like a financial abortion.
And that is it for the father to not be responsible for the child if the woman decides to have the kid?
Yeah, she wants the kid. Do you think that he should be able to get
I think that the father should be able to end the relationship with the woman. And I do think that the father has some say over whether or not the woman should get an abortion. But that's going to be a very rare case where the woman doesn't
No,
have
no,
any
no. Do
other
you think the father
considerations.
should be able to get a paper abortion, a financial abortion?
And okay, and you're saying that
Maybe
the
I'm not
father's
explaining it correctly. Do you want me to try again? Maybe I'm not explaining it correctly.
well, the
I'll
host
just
was eager
elaborate
to
to
explain
that.
it. Let me see if
So
the
current law is men have to pay child support once that child is born. Okay, they don't
uh
get to opt out of paying for their child, whether or not they want it or not. If the woman continues the pregnancy and delivers this baby and it exits the womb, that father is tied to that child. Yes, obviously the woman has to have a paternity test and yada yada yada. Like there's a procedure to establish paternity. However, once paternity is established, you get a court order to make this father financially pay for his child. I think that this
uh
is excellent. I think that to have it any other way would be ridiculous. So what I'm saying is there is a push because women are allowed to say right now, currently, if I have this baby, it's going to derail my career. I'm not really ready. I don't want to take responsibility for this child. So I'm going to get an abortion. This is harming fathers psychologically who would like to keep their children. Okay, so I'm asking you the opposite here. I'm saying the woman she loves this baby. She doesn't have a lot of money. She doesn't have a lot of support. Should the father have the right to say to her, no, I'm opting out before this child is born?
okay, and by opting out you mean like force her to get an abortion. Right?
Financially. I mean, obviously he can't have an abortion. He wants a financial abortion.
But he's telling the woman that, or he's forcing the woman to get an abortion. That's what you're saying.
No.
He's opting out of parenthood. He does not want to pay child support.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
I should also keep
you don't think that think that this harms society?
Well, okay. By harming society, do you mean that you're considering other things, like further things that deal with the child?
Well,
I mean, yeah.
so
Then
if
the father couldn't.
okay, let me explain what you're committing to here. So she wants to keep this child. It's her child. It's his child too. He's saying, no,
Okay.
I'm not going to pay for this child. Okay, this child hasn't been born. So he signs away his financial responsibility because he wants to carry on partying, right? And going to school when he doesn't want to pay for his child. So he gets this financial abortion. Yet this poor mother wants to keep her child. So let's presume she births this child. Now she's on her own, okay? Should we make the taxpayers pay for this child?
Well, I think that taxpayers should do more anyways. So, I mean, yeah,
Oh my
that'd be
God.
fine. But with regards to, what do you mean?
Like, I don't mind.
Wait, I mean,
mind
I'm a
filling
market
in.
socialist.
I don't mind. I'm all for like social programs and whatnot. I'm a
Okay.
Democrat. I don't mind filling in the gaps. Okay, I think we should fill in the gaps and we should help women who are struggling and single moms and single dads, whatever the case is. I think we should help people who are struggling, right? Temporarily, at least to get on their feet. I believe in all of that. But what you're saying is that, and I'm surprised because you're a vegan, you are basically treating children as if they are property to be disposed of. So
Well, this isn't. Well, can you let me finish my answer? So this doesn't seem like something that's legislatively relevant, right? This seems like something that we shouldn't sign into law. This is more of like a domestic issue. Like the woman father should discuss this.
This
So
is
I disagree with legislation. That was just like a point I made in passing about
I'm
tax.
talking about, when I brought up the father, I brought up psychological harm. That has nothing to do with legislation. There's a lot of empirical evidence that abortion causes women psychological harm. They may not recognize this right away because they're going to experience pretty severe psychological
Yeah,
harm
no, I
from the
agree.
abortion. So you have that. What I'm talking about is the greater harm to society if we continue to treat children.
Well, no, I don't think that we should treat children as disposable property.
Okay, so maybe we're just going in circles. Do you agree that men should be able to financially opt out prior to the birth of the child?
Look, no, I don't. What I'm saying is I think that this is something that the woman and mother should discuss,
Okay, wait,
and the
wait, wait,
father
wait. Let
can
me
make.
stop you there.
Well, hold
Let me
on,
stop you there.
just
So
stop
you
steamrolling. I don't have a lot of
agree,
time.
you
I told you before. This
agree.
is like the
Wait,
last question.
wait. I just want to.
What?
I need to clarify.
Wait,
So you
guys,
All right.
hold on.
agree
Hello,
that
hello,
the man should
hello,
not be able to
hello,
opt out.
hello.
You agree that the man should not be able to opt out, but you think she should be able to opt out.
I think that prior to this abortion happening, the father and mother should discuss this, and the mother should consider this
No, we're
reason.
saying this. There was no discussion. There was no
Okay, then yeah,
discussion.
no.
So no, he should not be able to opt out financially, but she can get the abortion if she wants it.
Yeah, she can get the abortion.
Okay, but he can't. Okay, that's
I
pretty
mean, no,
sad.
this is something that. What?
I mean, I think you
Okay.
said. Wait. Hold on. I think you said you guys wanted to continue this in your own time. I'm not sure, but he said
I'm
yes.
not
to
sure that
go,
I'd be
so-
interested, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
So appreciate the conversation, guys. See you later.
Right. That was kind of crazy.
Like I said, an ant has more value than a fetus.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd. I don't think he's really vegan. I mean, I think it leads to absurdities. That's why I gave that example of a YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel, pretty. I think it has like 1 million subscribers, of a guy who literally feeds living insects to his Venus flytraps for clicks on YouTube. Is that morally impermissible?
I not clear with what a paper? I felt like it took
No,
like
you're very clear. You're very
Oh,
clear.
okay.
It's just you've never heard of it. You've never heard of it before. Oh, I should also mention. I'm not sure if this is true, but I believe there's some states that have child support prior to birth. So
They were trying, but no, Dems poo-pooed it. They didn't vote for it. Unless it maybe it passed in Georgia. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I know in one state they tried and it didn't pass because of Democrats. Because they don't want to admit that there's a child there from conception. I'm gonna go look it up. Curious.
I just got back from work.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up too, because I think Texas was trying to do that as well, the child support.
Guess what? I did so good. I'm the lead host. I'm the lead of my host group. And I got a mocha cold brew for doing such a good job.
Congratulations, Kenna.
Thank you. I yelled at everybody tonight. And I got a whole bunch of tips. Look at that shit. I can't show it because of the green screen.
Yeah, I can see it. It's cool. Nice. It's lit.
Win having a job. Win a career. Win. No, because I'm gonna throw Concord underneath. Concord could come to me later. Concord is unemployed. We were joking about that. I go, Concord, you're unemployed, and he goes, I know.
Okay, let me get my charger.
I just looked it up. Georgia's the only one where it passed. It's been proposed in probably 7 states.
Oh, nice.
Yelled at everybody tonight. I'm such an asshole.
Is it from conception? Is that from conception?
Yeah.
Yeah, it passed in the Senate in Texas, and now they're moving it to the House.
Oh, that's neat.
So they'd be acknowledging they would be unaliving a child.
Yeah.
Problem that the Democrats have is that recognizing that life starts at conception and that we're giving it rights.
Yeah. I was like, I thought
Basically harming women who even want to have children, who want the pregnancy. It's just harmful.
it is.
Who wouldn't want more 9 months of child support? That's ridiculous.
Wait,
Like,
would you say
I just, it's insane.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, are they going to be against free birth too? If we propose free birth, I'm all for free birth. I
What
just.
does it say about the taxpayers part? What do you mean?
Talking about child support or child care. You would have 9 more months.
Right.
Oh, of child support.
We're saying that about taxpayers. All of a sudden that was everyone else's problem just because people want to do paper abortions.
I know, right? Wasn't that wild?
And yeah.
He agreed. He agreed that men should not, right? Or wait, did I misunderstand him? He said men should not be able to get a paper abortion, but women should still be able to get abortions, right? Is that what we ended on?
I don't think so. I thought he agreed that they should be able to do that because women can, and therefore the taxpayers.
Oh, maybe I
He goes, the
misunderstood him.
taxpayers should be doing more. I was like, what the
So have as much schmecks as you want, make as many babies as you want, and then have them, and then we all pay for them. Is that how I was gonna go?
So the only people responsible is everybody except the people who created the child in the first place.
It's fucking
Right, exactly.
insane. It is insane.
That's why I said
Absolutely
your
insane.
idea of consent here is just misconstrued, and every reductio that I gave was not given with the idea that there's any consent or you created this being and this is what put you in the situation. like every single reductio was just like that was a symmetry breaker on it, so I just didn't. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
bad faith.
There's so much harm. There's so much harm by abortion. It's just the list is endless. Siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncle. I mean, everybody's robbed of a relationship with this child. There's even like a lot of studies about how much it actually harms the abortion providers. They have like this even the guy, what's his name? He just retired. Warren Hearn, the guy that did like late term abortions in Colorado. They even did an interview with him. And he said like the first like almost like I think he said almost like a year he had like nightmares and he had to like condition himself to unalive children.
Right. Well, I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, he
It can be
doesn't care.
contextual, right? Like for example, okay, aborting causes negative outcomes. That should not be a consideration, right? I mean, abortion is wrong because basically it deprives a human life of future experience, right? That's all right. Even
I
even if it
agree.
can cause
I
like
agree. I'm just
happiness to
saying.
like
I
it's not
agree.
important,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah, to
Well,
me.
that, well,
So,
that other
but
guy.
I'm just curious about his answer, right? Like when I asked him about the true coma patient, right? That true coma patient that does not have future experience compared to a true coma patient who has. I think he has not answered the question, right? I mean, does he think a true coma patient with no future experience have less moral consideration than a true coma patient with future experience? If he thinks so, then he would value future experience, right? Which makes it weird, right? Because then it's problematic to actually abort a presentient fetus, right? Because you are depriving that fetus of future experience. So yeah, I'm quite confused. So
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk to that other guy, right? Who said that it provides utility. I want to talk, but he left.
Yeah, Liv. Yeah.
Will you prompt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand like that. Okay, really? I mean, what is the evidence that if we eliminate ABs, that it actually raises the net, like, just quality or quantity of like humans? I don't know, like that doesn't even make sense. And then, but he's like saying, okay, there's like some sort of like utilitarian standpoint, but
Yeah, he is. It's like, well,
but there's always going to be some amount of like harm, however you describe your principle of harm. But there's always going to be.
utility is it's quite absurd, right? So, for example, there's five patient in a room, right, that need some sort of a specific organ, right, and there's one person in that room that can fulfill their needs, right? Is it okay to unalive it to actually, have some sort of a better outcome or some sort of a flourishing, right? Because you're actually curing five, right? You are killing one to cure five, right? Yeah, so it's kind of absurd, right? I mean, they do not take into account autonomy, or that sort of thing. So,
Well, De Niro, next time someone uses utility, you should use the thing I use against vegan, right? Let's say, right, that raping children, right, would cure cancer. Would it be permissible in that case? Right? You should have used that.
Yeah, but I think that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about like some terrible reductio that would end in ultimately like a utilitarian like net benefit. But I was like, honestly, if it just depends how like beneficial it is, right? But they will go down some pretty steep hills. But I think ultimately, if you're viewing just utilitarian, that you would just say yes. I think that's what you would have to say.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something crazy. So long as it benefits like society, even like a horribly bad thing would be considered like permissible, so long that it has like an ultimate benefit. That's what I was like thinking about saying, but I was like, I think utilitarian just has like a weird view where it's like you have to basically, like his view was like the outcome is bad and like people are in like bad financial situations. It's like, okay, and then like this is actually lowering the just amount of like children being born. It's like I don't think that these are any like thing to take into consideration. It's just stupid. That's no evidence to support that.
Hello, Smiling. What's your age? What's your stance?
Yeah, not even. What's up, guys?
What
I'm not staying long, Protect. I'm not.
No.
Yeah, I'm not debating tonight. I'm gonna go to bed early. I gotta go pay bills, get my nails taken off, go get the son's diploma and school records.
We get it, yeah.
And then
What-
Tuesday, I have my nerve ablation, so I definitely won't be debating tomorrow night or Tuesday. Because I'll be in a lot of pain.
Why are you pro-choice?
I am not pro-choice. Hell no. I'd rather freaking,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd
Well,
rather.
Rose, yeah. Rose was said she wanted to talk to somebody, so I'll give Rose a chance.
One easy, but yeah, or I'll just start the conversation and pass it on.
If you need someone to help you, then you can ask.
Yeah, if you ever want me to help you debate like another a pro-choicer, I'm more than willing to help you out and give you tips and kind of point out where you need to ask these questions at.
Thank you.
No, but
I
I
start
never have
like
an issue with that.
shine and brain.
You have a few sentience debaters, so yeah, these are the Phil Bros. So yeah.
Yeah, I just stay quiet during the Phil Bro stuff.
Yeah, I don't like. I can debate it, but I don't like to. It's boring and it puts me to sleep. So after like 5 minutes, I just lose interest. So I'm just like, I don't want to entertain it. I need to start doing it more. I just don't like to because it is boring.
I refuse to engage with sentience.
Yeah, sentience and consciousness are really big circles. It leads down a really dark path where, you know, like consciousness, if someone's in a coma, we can unalive them. And then sentience, they're having to give squirrels and like dogs and that freaking
bugs as well.
Yep, human rights because they're sentient. So,
I guess in that case it'd be sentient rights instead of human rights.
Right.
yeah, but it goes in circles. So I just, after like 5 minutes of hearing it, I just kind of get bored and zone out and fall asleep because it's just boring to me. I've never been around for those type of debates. And your average person, when it comes to those two stances, your average normal lay person is not going to understand the terms that the pro-choicers are using. That's why the viewership drops whenever those conversations happen, because people don't understand it.
Well, that's the whole point. They're here to learn to understand it.
Yeah, but I mean, people just don't have the attention span. You got to remember, we're in the modern time of days now where pretty much everybody has ADD, ADHD, freaking anxiety, depression, whatever. So people just
That's
don't
the
have
reason. Yeah, that's probably why I shouldn't make my videos 8 hours long, because they're all on YouTube and they're like hours long. There's no way a person's going to sit and watch all of that.
No. I think there's been like studies shown like the average person's attention span is like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. I don't remember.
No, it's like a few I looked at it somewhere, right, from a YouTube video. It's like our attention span is just above a fish's, which is not good.
Yeah. But we're also living in the age of freaking, like I said, everybody's got ADD or ADHD, something. So,
Maybe that should be my next prompt. Should social media be banned? Maybe that should be my next prompt.
What?
Should social media be banned? Maybe that should be my next prompt.
I think some social media apps need to be banned. That's a good topic to discuss. Especially for minors. Like you could even add, should social media be banned for minors?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Should there be restrictions on how a social media app is ran? Like should speech as far as doxing goes, or as far as saying slur words, should those be allowed on social media? Things like that. Those are really good topics.
Yeah, Holly, I think you know the next prompt idea if you're in here. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I always considered that. Social media, yeah. I was never a social media person prior. I would never. The only social media I would use is YouTube. And I would never post anything. I would just like watch.
I've only had Facebook. I tried to do X, and that I just never used it. I didn't look at videos. I never freaking posted. So I ended up deleting those accounts because I just never use them. So,
Hey,
go ahead.
Protect. I'll be back in like a few seconds. I'm gonna go use the bathroom and clean my face off.
Okay.
But yeah, those are, those are really good topics. Like, yeah, I think Texas, I'm looking now to see, hey, Bianca, I think Texas passed the bill. I'm not sure. I'm going to look right now and see. I haven't really been paying attention too much.
I have a few other prompts, but not as important. Like I have the tipping prompt. Should tipping be allowed or not?
Oh, man.
That one's definitely controversial for some people.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just read the background. That's nothing. That's crazy, dude.
So, Texas tried to ban social media for minors. It was House Bill 186, and it failed the Texas Senate after missing a key deadline. It would have prohibited minors from creating social media. Oh, Christina's got a new prompt.
Hello, Mr. Firelord.
Hey, Protect. Send me that thing on Discord. I'll crop out all that crap around the top and around the bottom of it and resize it for you.
Which one?
The one you have.
This one?
Yeah, because I can see like the remix and stuff on it when like you screenshot it. It's weird. If you just whenever she makes them for you, if you just like hold your thumb down on it and press and hold on it, you can actually save it, so it doesn't have all that stuff on the top and bottom on it. I saw one person who had a background that said, "If abortion is health care, then grape is a fetish." Johnny, I'd have to ask him if he. Yeah, we'll ask Protect. Yeah, so Johnny, I have a feeling that Holly made that, so I would have to ask her if it's okay. But she's telling you that she can send it to you.
And yeah, thank you, Plastered. Thank you for reminding me to say that to everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the
This one is related to Father's Day. Kind of.
Okay, send me any background you have if you want that stuff cropped out and resized.
All right, there's pretty much all of them, but okay.
You screenshotted those, didn't you?
Yes.
When she sent them to you, you screenshot them, yeah.
Yeah, if she sends them to you on Discord, if you click on it, there's the 3 buttons where it'll let you save the photos instead of screenshotting them.
Like if you just like press and hold on it, it'll let you save it too.
Yeah,
I do both of them for some reason. I do that. I don't know why, but yeah. I was thinking about making these as posters.
You send it to me without that stuff on all around it, so like.
Yes. Oh, it's too complex. I'll do it later.
Okay, go back to that message you just sent me, and press and hold the image and select save image. Because you literally send it without the remix and all that stuff around the top and bottom. You send it to me without any of that there. Now just press and hold and save that image, and you got it.
Rose, that's what I'm saying. Stop screenshotting them. Just save them.
Yeah, you don't have to screenshot it. Just press and hold and save that image that you just sent me, and boom. You don't have to screenshot them.
Yeah, you can
I'm not tech
forward.
savvy. Give me a break. I'm not tech savvy.
I'll do a VC with you, Protect, probably Wednesday, and I'll screen share my screen and show you how to do it. That way,
Yeah. Show me how to make some prompts as well.
I'm not good at that one. I don't know how to do that.
I mean, Holly's pretty good at it because she has like some app. I don't know what app she has, but she has a really good app. She made my Unborn Lives Matter one.
All
So,
right.
I'll do this to you, but
Who?
Oh,
hello, Mr. Firelord.
So I heard 2
Mike is
new
not an old-
medical reasons for abortion today.
What are they?
Thalassemia and sickle cell anemia.
Describe those. Wait, those.
Cell anemia.
That can be treated.
That one, yeah, that one.
Sickle
that
cell
can be-
anemia, that's not treated with an abortion. I don't see why we would need an abortion for sickle cell anemia.
Wait, but didn't they discover a cure for that like pretty recently? Or
I don't know.
I think they did discover a cure for that.
Hey, is she live right now?
Yeah, Christina's live right now.
Oh, okay. You guys are leaving. Okay.
I'm probably going to pop in there for a minute, say hi, and then I'm going to go watch this movie.
Okay.
I'm taking today off, the next couple of days off to freaking.
Oh wow. Well, I think I might join her live, get some debating practice in.
I have so Tuesday I go in for my nerve ablation every 6 months, and it's for my sciatica. So yeah, Tuesday I will not be debating. I will be in a lot of pain from that.
I'm gonna pretend I know what those things are, but yeah.
So basically, what they do is they go into my lower back, into my spine, and they poke needles in 6 different places, and then they fry the ends of my nerve endings.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Must be painful.
It is. That's why when I get home, I will be taking my gabapentin and my muscle relaxers and laying in bed for the rest of the day.
Careful. If you're they might think it's morally permissible. Some of these people might think it's morally permissible if you're not conscious.
Oh, I know.
So I've got 2 different phones going right now, and I'm in Christina's live on one of them, and I'm in this live on another.
So they're not. I don't go under anesthesia or anything.
Oh.
I'm fully awake. Basically, they just use topical numbing agent on my back, and then they poke the tubes in there and 6 different and fry it. What, Jared?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, someone was yelling. I thought they were yelling, Dad. I was like, what?
I'm on 2 different panels at once.
Where are you guys going?
We need complete focus here. What are you doing?
I'm about to hop down and go pop in and say hi to Christina, and then I'm gonna go lay down and watch a movie like I've been all day. So, but I love y'all. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Yo. All right. Any opposition? I mean, I'll use the previous prompts because this was Rafiki's idea. Evil Rafiki's idea. I mean, what is the definition of a job, actually? To be honest, I actually don't know.
Good question. I guess something that like in exchange for something, like in exchange for maybe labor for like resources.
Yeah. Well, like, what about a priest? Would that be a job?
I don't know like the exact. I don't know a lot about priests in general. But like, I don't know if. I guess they take home some type of salary, right? And then they exchange it.
No, I mean, okay, I'll change it from priest to nuns. Because like nuns take a vow of poverty, so they don't get any money.
Oh, then no, that would be like volunteer.
Oh, so what's the difference between volunteering and a job?
I think volunteering would be like non-profitable for any reason.
Oh, I see. Like, do you have to get paid for it to be considered a job?
No, I think just in exchange for any, like you gaining any resources. So like, you know, I could get paid in food. I can get paid in anything.
Well, I mean, the nuns, they do get like a convent, so a place to live. They just don't get any money.
Yeah, you might get like housing or anything. Yeah, that's pretty common. Even like apartments do that.
Yeah, I guess that would be a job. Yeah.
She's mad at me. She's
Well,
mad.
hold on. We got Sir Gimps in the bottom. Stitch is here. They agree with the prompt. They said abortion is healthcare. That means the slavery is job creation. So they agree. They are a
Stitch.
They are a slavery apologist. So they just admitted it.
Wah.
Stitch,
So
request up.
They're more relativist, right? So they just think everything that was like good or bad is because. Good God, are you on a lawnmower, brother? Holy.
Oh, Stitch was there for like a few seconds. Oh, hello, Stitch.
He's here. He was just on a lawnmower.
No,
How you
it's
doing?
my AC and TikTok's being weird.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We need some. We need some new prompts, and you know,
Ugh.
we had a guy. His name is Gadfly. We debated him 3 times. He justified literally everything on the prompt, like my body, my choice leads to like cannibalism, necro. He went down the entire list.
Bro, that's a crazy background.
What, this one?
Oh, you missed his other ones, then, bro. Did you see his eugenics with the mustache man?
No.
That was
Wait,
funny.
yeah, I did.
Hilarious. Oh man, I just got off of work. I feel so good to be taking off my dress pants.
Wait, you think we're joking? We're not, Sir Gimps. Like, you even admitted it.
Oh my god, I feel
Are there
so.
any debates going on?
Wait, I don't know.
Ugh.
Who's Jupiter? Or Jupiter? What?
Oh, I've seen them before.
Oh, they don't give very good arguments.
I mean, you guys can take this one. I've seen Jupiter before.
I would love to take it. Just have one debate before I have to go
I was
back.
gonna say this is just low key crazy.
This
Yeah.
is just
What's
low.
crazy
This is
about it?
just crazy. Like the comparison, it's just crazy.
Yeah, how's
Do
it
you know
going?
what's
Yeah,
crazy?
what's crazy about it? What's crazy about it?
Oh, I have a good prompt actually.
Bro, you're gonna make her go into a stroke.
Oh, help! I'm having a stroke.
You got this, kid? Lock in, bro.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. No, we can hear you. I'm just messing with you, bro.
I don't know how my phone could hear me from all the way over here. I'm like across my room.
You do sound kind of muffled, but it's no problem.
Well, that's an iPhone for you.
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean, sure?
No, I mean, you're right. I have the same problem. I concede.
I mean, Stitch, if you want to take this, you got it.
Well, I asked her, like, why is it crazy? She hasn't given an answer, so.
I think y'all know why it's crazy.
No, we don't.
I
Like,
don't know. I'm Mexican. I don't know what you're talking about.
oh boy. You know what?
Going
I just
everyone.
came up here to say that you guys kind of are crazy, and I'm really appalled.
Assertions, and more assertions. What's the
Can
argument?
you not like? Listen. I don't care what you have to say. Right? You can leave or drop down or have a conversation.
What?
Wait, what?
Are you gonna have a conversation, or are you just here to make a statement and leave? Because because this is a airport. You don't have to tell me when you're
Girl,
leaving.
you said I was gonna have a stroke. Holy,
I mean, you can drop them. They clearly
having a stroke.
They're clearly wasting their time. Just get
Yeah, you're wasting your
Damn
time.
it. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Are
You
you
hear me?
level per choice? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, if sometimes the woman is already pregnant 7 months, let's say, for me, I kind of find it hard why she would do an abortion if she can just wait 2 months and give it to someone. Like, I'm kind of in the middle, you understand? But if it happened in the beginning, let's say, of a grape, and she wanna, I don't know. But you understand, like, if someone that is already 8 months and do abortion, I don't really, like, understand. Like, I don't understand it, to be honest. But at
Well,
the
why
same time,
would you
I understand
understand
that.
it? Would you understand it if it was like, she barely found out she was pregnant and she was only like, let's say, 2 months and she's 8 weeks. She finds out she's pregnant. Would you say that she's allowed to get an
But
abortion?
hold on, which month they say that the baby start to be? Uh, I think there's some months I forgot about them. Like I
Like
think after.
conscious?
after 3 months or before, something like that.
Are you talking about consciousness? Well, I need to know what you're talking about. Are you talking about consciousness, or what are you talking about, or just having a
I'm
heartbeat?
talking about the baby when the baby starts to really be alive.
Well, it starts from conception. From conception, it's its own individual life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the only problem that I find with abortion is sometimes is when it's promoted too much. Basically, I've seen videos of people getting pregnant just to get abortion, stuff like that. You know, it became not, there is no meaning on it. There is, you understand, there's kind of a vibe, kind of, how we say that, a trend. You understand? That's what I oppose to, but I understand also people that get raped to want to be an abortion, to want to have an
Well,
abortion.
here's the thing. I don't care if it's promoted or not. Like, what I care about is whether or not it's happening. So the fact that it's even happening, we're even having a conversation about it happening, is my issue. It should not be allowed because it is unaliving a human child.
Yeah, I mean, but who's gonna take care of it? I mean, would
It's the responsibility of the parent. If the parents are going to relinquish their duties to take care of the child when they engage in intercourse, then they should pay to have this child being taken care of until you can transfer responsibility.
and I'm talking about what about grape causes? What do you think about them? You think they should?
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. I'm sorry. Like, if you get raped, right, that doesn't mean that you get to unalive your child. I would say that you can relinquish responsibility to the state and allow for an adoption process to begin.
Yeah, I understand. Like you're talking from a stand view of there is an institution. What about countries that doesn't? We're talking international here,
It
right?
doesn't matter what country you're in, you're still able to do adoptions. You can name any country in the world, and there's adoptions available
No, I
for that
disagree with
place.
you.
The problem is, here's the issue, is that it doesn't matter what circumstances you are in, it doesn't therefore permit you the ability to unalive your children.
Right.
Like, I can name you plenty of places in Mexico where they don't have access to internet, they don't have access to anything, right? It's just a village. And
Yeah,
women
but forget
there are
about
not
Mexico.
unaliving their children just because they don't have access to medical care, right? They're still taking care of their children. They're still finding ways to feed them. So women in America have women in Western countries have no shame in trying to say that they don't have any financial stability when there's literally countries like Mexico in which there's areas in which women have access to nothing and are still able to take care of their children.
I understand. Like I understand. Like yeah, I was talking from an international standpoint, but because I'm Ukrainian, but also I understand the fact that, and especially if you're talking about America, I understand that there is no excuse at all to unalive a baby, and and specifically when he already have 5 or 6 or 7. I don't understand it. Like how would you do that? Like how? I mean, it
Yeah,
should be
well,
it should go to jail if you do that. If I This is my take. Have you seen the video of that lady dropping a baby on a garbage on? Have you ever seen it?
yeah, there's been a lot of videos like that.
Yeah, well, for me, there's no difference between that lady and the one that unalived the kid at 7 months.
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
absolutely no difference. But
Yeah,
why
no
this one is
difference.
legal and the other one she get I think she got 25 years on jail, some crazy pain like that. She got something like that, 20 years or I don't know how much. She got crazy judgment. Um,
Why is it?
yeah,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
absolutely.
so.
Yeah, I agree. There's no basis in which this should be allowed the way it's normalized. I don't think it should happen at all. I don't think that there's any circumstance in which it would be permissible. Um, and like I said, I mean, I mostly agree with what you said. And I think we're getting to the point in time where we're doing a disservice to our own species, and we're kind of like undermining our own human interests, which is very
Yeah, yeah.
problematic for evolution is very problematic for us to have a stable developmental production of more human, and in order to stabilize our populations.
Yeah, I
So
understand. I understand. But I don't know about the rape victim, especially specifically when sometimes it's a father and the lady is 14 years old. I don't know about that, you know, because what you gonna tell? First of all, very few women would love to give their baby because they will feel. I've met a woman that gave her baby. And you know what happened to her? Till now, she cry almost every day, because it's very, very hard. Many women probably they prefer to do abortion in a few weeks than giving their baby, because when they give their baby, what happened later on they regret. Most of them. I've met the lady specifically when they don't know where the baby is. I've met a friend of she's not a friend, but she's no, I mean people that I know. She was on schmucks, you know. I don't know if you got my point.
Yeah.
She was
yeah,
taking and she got pregnant with the guy that buy her the schmucks, and when she had the baby, she gave it, and she cry every day now because she have no idea where that baby is. She have no idea, like every day she cry. She have a lot of trauma. She told me she preferred to get like to I don't know, like to do abortion
I have
than
a
not knowing where the baby is.
Hold
That's
I
what
have
on.
she
a
told
question.
me.
Is
Hold
this a
on.
subjective conversation?
Wait, now hold on. I don't know what you mean, but conversation between Stitch and Man.
Yeah, we're just discussing here. I'm sorry if I went out of
yeah,
the
he's
topic.
mostly in agreement.
I'm
He's
listening to
mostly
what
in
he's saying. I just was
agreement.
asking a question. Yeah, I completely understand what he's saying. I was just like asking.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
mostly in agreement. He'll just give an example of certain circumstances, which I can understand.
Well,
But there's
I'm
really
by the
no
way, just to let you
conversation
guys
there.
know,
So it's like
I'm
causal.
okay. I'm pro-life, by the way. I debated with Concord just a minute ago. If y'all know who that is, but
Yeah, we know who that is. Wait. So
yeah,
if you debated him, are you no exceptions, man?
no. I did not debate him. I was on a panel with him. I'm pro-life, so
Oh, I see. Are you like pro life causal? We hold any exceptions? No exceptions.
no exceptions.
W.
Yeah, just to say this, I know host doesn't like pro life. I'm pro life, but
No, I don't
college,
mind. I don't mind. Like, I mean,
causal positions are trash. Not gonna lie,
yeah.
unless they're paired with like future like ours. They're usually trash.
No, I think that's the opposite. Because like, if you cared about the future like ours, if you cared about future like ours, it wouldn't matter if it was grape or consensual.
Well, that's why. Well, future. Okay, so here's the thing. If they give the if they apply future like ours, and then say that, like for example, the grape would be like under grape would be permissible, then yeah, it would be problematic. But if you hold the causal obligation stance, I don't know. There's specific ways that you can argue where you don't give the grape exception, which I think it's very it's unique, and I think it's a good argument. But usually, the causal obligation stance leads to some sort of incons. I can't fucking speak.
Inconsistencies.
Yeah, that.
Well, the thing about causal is like I asked Habibi this, right? I'm not sure if this is logically possible, but what if you cause a tiger embryo to develop in a woman's womb? Like, let's say you implanted it. I'm not sure if this is possible. Do you think you're obligated to continue the pregnancy to sustain this embryo of a tiger because you caused it to be in that state of dependency?
Under their framework, you would have to be.
Right, because I asked Concord that. I'm not sure if this is even logically possible, right? But if it is, do you think that
It doesn't have to be logically possible. It could just have a probability. So even if the probability is like 0.02%, right? Like 0.02%. Yeah, it's. I mean, it can lead to some absurdities. I would say it's pretty absurd to say that a human being would be responsible for just because they put into a situation an animal to get like to be born. I don't think that they're obligated to this animal.
And at the same time, that wouldn't be a human life, which is not what we're really talking about in this scenario.
Well, that's the thing about causal. It has to be conjunction of human alive.
Well, the principle of causal is not. Well, if they only make it in conjunction with human, that wouldn't make any sense to the position, because the position is simply stating that there's a proximal action that is being taken that is consensual that leads to some sort of like state of dependency. So this, like, the instance of it being in conjunction with just human beings wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
Unless
Yeah,
they're
but I still
subjectivist. If they're
think
subjectivist, that would be something else.
like there's some cases. Let's say the girl got pregnant at 10 years old by her father, or 9 years old, or I don't know. Like I think she need to get
Well,
abortion.
here's my view, right? If the doctor says she can't continue the pregnancy, she can end the pregnancy, but she can't purposefully unalive the child, right? So that would fall under medical. Now, I think it's always wrong to intentionally unalive the child in the womb, but I acknowledge that I don't expect every single pregnancy to go the full 9 months. I obviously am well aware of that, but I'm against the intentional unaliving. Right?
No, that's sad. Specifically when people are married or in a relationship, they should they should be jailed. Why are you married at the first place if
Right.
you don't want to have a fucking kid? Why you guys are married? If you got pregnant, put that baby out. If you have any suspicion that you unalive the baby before you made him out, you should be jailed.
Right.
Period. That's what I think. Because you guys are married. There is no issue. There is no. I don't see. You understand? There is no grave. There is no. I mean, you are mature. You have money. You have. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I ask you a question. Speaking of which, right? Like, what if it was a female teacher who like raped a boy? Do you think she should continue the pregnancy, or do you think she's
Listen. You brought something very, very, very good. Okay, because I was a boy at 14 and 15. Okay, and back in Ukraine. I don't know about you guys in America, but at 14 and 15, okay, I was dating 35. I know it's gonna shock many, but I was running behind like single moms and stuff. At 15, I was a man. I was almost 6 foot. At 15, I was training. I was a man. So you call me a boy, but at 14, 15, I remember having like intercourse. Okay. So I was the one instigating the relationship. No one was running behind me. I was running behind them. So I don't know
That
about that.
doesn't matter though. Like, you're still 14. Like,
I don't care. Listen, that's your American ideology. Don't project it to everybody.
Ideology is fact.
No, and it's not fact. People at the time used to marry very young, so it's not fact. You guys have no. I mean, there's no logic in America.
Wait, it is fact. Neurologically speaking, we're talking
Listen,
about
that
people's able to
neurologically and your
consent.
studies that
Okay,
mean nothing.
hang on. Let me finish
You're talking
speaking.
from an
Let
American
me finish
standpoint.
speaking. Let me finish speaking.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not just American. I don't know where you're getting this idea from. Right?
Yeah.
My family, be quiet. So first and foremost, right, when we're having these conversations, I don't give a damn where you're from. I talk to a lot of people. My family's from Mexico, by the way. We're not just full Americans. And when we talk about these issues, right, we actually look objectively at what we're talking about. Just because you're 14 and you are pursuing these women, it does not mean that therefore you were able to consent neurologically. Men have an impulse from the start of puberty, right, where they have a rush of hormones and they get woodies in the middle of the day, or they get woodies when they wake up, right? It's natural. That doesn't therefore mean that we are able to consent or that we know what we're doing. Okay, so we need to
No,
understand the
I'm
difference of what
sorry.
we're talking about. This has nothing to do with culture, has nothing to do with American values.
No, it
There's a
has
lot
to
of
do with culture.
Americans.
It's
There's a
not
lot
an
of
American
Americans that
standpoint. It's a
believe that you are
scientific
able to
standpoint.
consent at the age of 16. I would disagree with this. I don't think you're able to consent at the age of 16.
Well, do
So
you
it's not
think
an American ideology. The problem is that we have normalized things within our countries, specifically the Western world, in which we're allowing these things to occur. And I don't agree with it. Okay, it
do you
doesn't matter
agree
what
that
country
a girl at 18 do OnlyFans? Do you agree?
No.
I'm so
Do you
no,
agree,
I don't
Stitch?
agree. I don't agree with any of that.
If
Okay,
that was an
so
American,
what's the
hey,
age of consent
let
then
me speak,
for you? Is
let me speak.
38?
If that was an American standpoint, then we would agree with what you're saying. So therefore, that invalidates your argument.
Well, no,
Listen, I don't care about American. You
Wait,
come
wait,
in
wait,
Russia and Ukraine, boys at 14, 15, they have intercourse with older women,
Well,
everybody.
wait,
Like,
demand. Hold on. I specifically stipulated, right, in my hypothetical, that the female teacher raped a boy. Do you think the
it's not grape. That's
well,
not grape.
well, okay. Do you think the woman is allowed to get the abortion in that case?
She's allowed to do. I mean, no, because that woman is not a child. But if child cannot, her body cannot carry that baby, it's totally different thing. Because I might give the semen, but I'm not the guy that will hold that baby. She's the one that will hold it. So saying that mean a lot, because me, I just released, but she's the one that's holding the baby. If
Let me
she-
ask you a
if it-
question.
Is this guy saying it's okay for adult women to be dating like 14-year-old boys?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, pretty much.
Dude, what the fuck?
Bro, you
Because-
talk
because
from
it's
American
American
perspective.
Well, listen,
You
I
guys are
understand.
gamers.
I understand teenage boys fantasize about older women. That's there's no question there. But this is when it takes the adult to make the right decision, not to do something to a
Listen, I was 14 and 15. I was dating 35.
I don't
was
care.
dating 28.
I
Bro,
don't care.
You guys
What
play
makes that
when you
person that
guys
did
play
that with
video
you
games.
disgusting.
Wait, hold
Listen,
on.
when you guys play video games, we train and shoot. We're different mentality, okay?
Yeah.
Well, come in Ukraine or Russia, you will see a 15 years old guy. You come at 35, he will beat your ass.
It doesn't
Let
make
me
it
ask you
okay.
a question.
We're not different mentality, bro.
Order.
If a woman was treated the same way that you were treated, would you say that was okay?
If she's 15, she can carry a baby. What's the problem? If a 15 with a 15 get married, what's the problem?
It's a neural capacity and
What
the
about a
maturity to
15
be
with a
able to comprehend
37-year-old?
what she's
You
doing.
just said a 15 with a 15-year-old when it came to females. What if it was a 15-year-old with a 37-year-old man? Would you say that that's perfectly permissible because she can carry a child?
That's a pretty perverted view to hold.
Which is
Hold
not
on.
true, by the way. The female anatomy does not fully develop.
Listen, you're fucking science lady for yourself. Because that's American science, bro.
Order.
That's American science. Leave it for
Damon,
yourself, buddy. You keep talking with science
This
from
is
the
not
beginning,
American
bro.
science. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
those
talking
you're fucking.
about. I
Come
don't even know
to.
what
We
the
have
fuck you're
different
talking about.
studies.
Listen,
We have
no
different.
way.
Anytime
Order.
American guy talk about
Hello.
studies, I
Order.
can't. Like,
One at a time. One at a time.
So, Damon, I'm gonna have to let me finish
shit.
speaking. Let me finish
So
speaking.
keep that
First and
fucking
foremost,
study
it's
to
not
yourself,
American
buddy.
science. I don't
Yeah,
know
those
what you're
fucking
talking about.
studies, keep them for yourself, buddy. On stats and study mean nothing.
Okay,
That's
since
your
you can't
fucking
learn to
study.
shut up, I'm just gonna kick you off. Okay, that's how I feel. Because you're
That was-
disgusting to me. I don't care if you're from another country. Okay, you're not gonna sit up here and normalize and say that it's okay for 14-year-old little boys to be sleeping with older women. Okay, you're not gonna do that on the panel. And if you can't engage in a conversation, I'll just kick you off. 'Cause
And
that's
for
how
him to
disgusting
try
you are.
to,
Dude, that was
for
so
him to engage in some
disgusting.
sort of- and for
It
him to
was
try
going
to
well.
engage in certain like objective, subjective conversations about his pseudoscience that comes from his other country that's completely invalid and not held by any other like respected source. It just doesn't even make sense. I don't even know why you try to present that.
It was
I
going
mean,
well. It was going
I
well.
don't understand like I understand like 14, 15-year-old boys and their like desires and stuff like that. But when you're like 15, 16, you didn't understand the consequences of your actions like you did when you're 18, 19, 20.
And the fact that you try to present, okay, well, a woman can get pregnant at this age. Well, yeah, she doesn't understand the repercussions of that at that age, which is our entire.
It's a consent thing. The adult is supposed to be the one that takes the action and say, hey, this shouldn't occur. This has to stop.
Yeah, but even if that was the case, right, just anatomically speaking, like the little girls that are getting pregnant at 14, they have a lot of complications. That's not a correct age to be getting pregnant. Like, yes, they can get pregnant. They become what you would consider fertile, but they're not within the capacity to withstand a child, and much less pushing out the child through the vagina.
It's not even
It's
about that
it's
though. It's
anatomically straining upon the person. That's why you see a lot of these little girls that have complications later in life when they go through these through early pregnancies.
well, yes, but
The
it's not even
primal
about that.
age for a woman would be that between the ages of 18 through 29. That is a primal age for a woman to get pregnant.
Yes, but it's really not even about that. It's about the fact that he's proposing that just because she can get pregnant, she it's okay for her to pursue
I
that.
understand that, but we
He's
already
saying that there's
addressed
an
that.
adult. When he's saying that there's an adult in this situation,
That's a
who
bad
has
thing
the
to say
ability-
because girls
who
have
has the
been
ability to
able
play
to get
this-
pregnant from a
this-
way early age. That type of logic is
One at a time.
disgusting.
One at a time. One at a time. Everybody keep
Well,
talking.
the person at this age has the ability to deploy a level of neural capacity and maturity that this younger person does not have. So that just really annoyed me with that argument because it really just doesn't make any sense. And then he said, "Oh well, you Americans don't you don't see our perspective." Yes, because your perspective is wrong and immoral.
He's from where he's from is like basically Western. So wouldn't they see it?
It's like Ukraine, Russia, right?
Yeah, he said he was Ukrainian. So wouldn't it be similar to ours? Their view?
No, not necessarily. I'm not sure what that culture is with that. I know it's not as bad as some of the Middle Eastern countries, but damn, that's young.
I mean, Ukraine is Western, right? Like Western value.
Yeah,
Like
that's debatable. I mean, it depends on what part of Ukraine, maybe.
It has one of the highest human trafficking rates.
It does. It's got a very high. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to clarify just really quick. The reason why I brought up the other argument is because we already addressed the other argument, and I think it's very important for people to understand that like having the capacity to get pregnant does not mean that it's functionally permissible or it should be allowed, because the functionality of it might just pragmatically might lead to complications. So that's all I was addressing with that line of logic. So I just wanted to make that clear.
That makes sense. I mean, but you do acknowledge that abortion at that age is also bad too, which is good.
Well, yeah. You know my stance, bro.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I wish there was some more pushback on that guy's view, though.
No, well, there couldn't be. As soon as he said that a 14-year-old little boy can sleep with a 37-year-old woman.
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked them. I shouldn't have asked them that with that.
Like, do we act like? Do any of you guys know any 14-year-olds? Because I have 14-year-olds in my family, and they look like literally babies.
They look like little kids,
Like,
bro.
like I
No,
don't
that's
understand.
really.
Like, what do you mean?
I live next to a high school, and like I drove past one like recently because I'm 25 now, and I'm like, dude, they all look like babies, bro. Like literally elementary schoolers, dude. That's
unless
crazy.
unless they're like pumped on shrugs and like.
Yeah, I would say that sometimes they can look a little bit older depending on the situation, but either way, I don't even think it's so much more physically. I think we can have an understanding that even at 18, like you're still not, at the peak of maturity and stuff like that. And I think just the idea that, that we look at these things differently or we look at them as wrong has more to do with the idea that, there's a certain almost like a coercion or almost like a manipulation that takes place, because of the fact that there's such an age difference.
I agree. Well, do you believe that some people are pretty mature for that age? Like, for example, do you think children who are like child soldiers, like they're definitely more mature than like the average adult if you're a child soldier, right?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't agree with that. Just because you are doing adult actions and you can make what we would say what's it called? You can assent to certain actions like that you're doing. It does not mean that you are consenting to the actions.
No, I don't mean you're like consenting, right? But I mean like a maturity of a person who's been a child soldier. I would say they would have more mental fortitude than like a lot of adults like doing that.
I don't think so.
I think there's an argument to be made that certain traits that people have been through a lot of trauma or extreme discipline or things like that might be displayed in a younger adult. However, this doesn't necessarily mean they're more mature.
Exactly.
Like they might display certain traits that come across as mature, but you would actually have to dig into the personality itself to see if the personality is mature outside of just that innate visual of them and their disciplinary aspect. Like, for example, you might have a kid that goes to do a martial arts or some school like that, And while they're doing their practice, they are highly focused, highly disciplined, and look like they're more mature doing something they've been out to do. And then they go home and act like a child.
I mean, you could say the same thing about like a 50-year-old. I mean, there are some 50-year-olds who are very childish for their age.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely some adults that still have never emotionally matured past a certain point, I would say.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot, but then again,
A lot more than people realize,
I would say
yeah.
that a lot, even like 18 like that. But I think that part of it can be just like too, like it's easy to look at it from that perspective now. When I'm older, right? Like when I was younger, we always think that when we're younger, like, oh, we had it all together, but we were making mistakes too.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like maturity, like I don't think you can really pin an age to it, like especially emotional maturity, because like I've been around individuals I found to be emotionally mature based on the interactions I've had. They were like 22, and then I've been around 40-year-olds that act like a fool, and I'm like, but typically speaking, the older you get, the more mature you would be from a typical nature. There's always
maturity.
outliers, yeah.
I just want to say maturity doesn't equal like rational thinking, right?
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't. Yeah.
so you can be immature and you can be like this 46-year-old that thinks he's a frat bro, and really you look like a dad, right? Like you can have the dad bod and think you're like fucking 22, and you can act like that and you can act completely immature, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have rational thought. As of like the 22-year-old that doesn't have the dad bod, that looks like a frat bro, but it's more mature. He can have, a lesser level of rational thinking than the 47-year-old.
Just like you can be educated and still be stupid.
Yeah.
And you can also come to like a common consensus. Of
Yeah, intelligence does not lead to wisdom. Let's just say.
And you can also come to like the common consensus of when most people reach that level of maturity. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Parameter, even if it's not always met, or some people might meet it before, that is the typical, That's like when we define like someone's ability to consent being around like 18. I mean, you might have a 25-year-old that probably meets the definition of not being able to consent, However, like there has to be a point in which we operate off of some sort of typical fashion.
Wait, does anybody know the history behind that? Why like 18?
I do.
I think it's a reasonable point in which the development where most faculties in an order where you understand consequences to actions to some sort of degree. Like I think there's enough connections where you could argue that there's enough there to stimulate some sort of like understanding, even though it's not fully developed.
So just really quick, I would agree with Stone to an extent, but that's not completely true. So the arbitrary line of 18, or I wouldn't say arbitrary, but the line of 18 that was created was actually based on the female models. It wasn't even based on male models, for example, like male anatomical models of like neurological development. So what they did is they examined the female body, and there's a doctor that goes over it. She basically wrote a paper on it a couple of decades ago, and she continued to follow up over the years. If I can remember her name, Andrew Wilson actually talked about her, but if I can remember her name, I'll tell y'all. But basically, and she pointed this out and actually looked into it. So the female anatomy, like, even though women, and that's what I was bringing up earlier, and like as a relation to what the other guy was saying, that even though like females can get pregnant at like the ages of like 12, 14, 13, 16, 15 years old, right? Like they can physically get pregnant. It doesn't mean that anatomically they're at the age in which they can push out the baby, or they can't sustain the pregnancy, or there won't be any like long-term anatomical effects.
I mean,
so,
and also like in that same vein, though.
Hold on. Let him finish.
Andrew Wilson pointed this out, and it's gonna get a little TMI, but like he pointed this out with the Muslim religion, right? With that prophet guy, I forgot his name. He actually used the example of the average, pishkadil size of the men when it comes to the Arab culture, and he actually looked into the anatomical facts when it comes to the female structures. So, what he did is he proved that even though the female anatomy is fully developed between the ages of like 13 and 16 years old, the anatomical opening of the vagina canal like if you, it's like at the size of like it's very very small, right? Like the hole. And so they actually examined that in order to come to the arbitrary line of 18. And they examined that there's actually large differences between the size of the vaginal canal between the ages of like 16, 17, and 18 years old. And they found that 18-year-olds, like their vaginal size is actually too congruent to the ability to actually being able to push out a baby, versus like a 16-year-old's where it's like very very small, like smaller than a fucking nickel, right? And so they actually examine these throughout the developmental stages of women to come to that arbitrary line of 18.
I see. I mean, what
there's a whole dissertation about this in like the 1960s, but if I find it, I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, yes, please.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I need the resources for that. But I mean, wouldn't the alternative to that just be a C-section? I mean, that's why C-sections exist, right?
Yeah. And so, and Andrew Wilson pointed out that like even with the average size, like the average size he said was about 3 to 4 inches, right, of the men of this particular culture, that even with that particular size, it can actually cause a lot of damage even to a 16-year-old whose, vaginal canal is really, really small.
Right.
And so it's interesting. It's a little TMI, but it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they were giving birth for thousands of years without modern medicine, right? I mean, they obviously did a lot of technology.
Oh, they've been giving birth. Yeah. I mean, midwives and things like that have been giving birth for
I can hear him.
thousands of
But we don't
years.
know.
We've had to find ways to make birth successful in some way because we're all coming into existence that way.
Well, we also saw a lot of maternal unalivings during this time as well. And that's why they came up with the...
Yeah, especially like 1800s, 1700s.
Yeah, there was a lot of maternal
It was quite
deaths.
common to see mothers unalive during
Yeah, and it was because like they were giving birth.
Yeah.
at such
Now
young
we have a
ages.
very low
That
now.
time, I mean, wasn't the medicine just bad?
Because
wasn't the
even in the early 1900s,
yes.
even in the early 1900s in America, you were seeing women marry way too early. Like, I mean, you're talking like women getting married at 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
Like in America, that's
what do you just-
mind-boggling to think that was
I mean,
100 and so
wasn't
years
the life
ago.
expectancy pretty like short back then? I mean, did you like live?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these people from the early 1900s lived to be like 80, 90, 70, something like that.
Like hundreds
So
of,
it's hard to
like
say.
thousands of years ago, you would be correct for that. But like when we're talking about like the 1900s, not entirely. And again, that's why the proximal age for women to get pregnant would be between the ages of like 18, 19 through I believe they said 29 or 30. Like that's the fundamental age in which women should be getting pregnant. And that's why right now you see a lot of women talk about how they have like fertility issues at the age of like 37. And it's like, bro, it's because like you're outside of that window, right? Like the proximal age for women to get pregnant is much younger than 37. And you see the average age of women who are having fertility issues because they've put so much work into their career rather than building a family. It's because of the fact that they're like over that line of age in which it is like it's the ideal like time for them to get pregnant.
Yeah, you can blame especially third wave feminism for that, for the idea that they basically told women that they need to forget about having a family. Like you need to be a boss babe, you need to get out there and you need to work. And then after a certain amount of time, they get to the point to where they're like, hey, they start to have that baby period. Now all of a sudden they have that. Now I want a family. Now I want to have children. Well, now, oh great. Now there's a fertility industry that's ready to help you. They're going to cause you additional issues while you continue to go through all these. But guess what? Now you want a child because of all this, and it's really messed things up.
I didn't know
Is it-
Toe was an off. I'm sorry, guys.
Women?
Isn't the Isn't the like?
Uh
Yes,
oh.
I
We have
hang on.
toe beans. Anyone want to take her?
You invited me.
I want to respond to her, actually. She just asked if we were blaming women. Absolutely. Women have led this ideation in which they would value their career. They're not doing anything differently
Should we
than
have
taking
babies
care of
before we're
children
financially
and going and
ready
being
too?
teachers in school. I'm sorry, I could have sworn I was still speaking, right? I'm answering your question.
Is it a
So
how do you
first and
pronounce
foremost,
vagina again?
well, close the hole below your nose and maybe you'll find out, okay? So here's the thing. The problem is that when you have
You
these
can't
women that
pronounce
have
it vagina.
ideations, if they okay, so I'm just gonna obviously your
Vagina
mother didn't
canal?
teach you.
I'll just give me just be talking.
Is that
Can you just talk and engage with him, or you're gonna get dropped?
Well, I would love to finish speaking and answering your question. Can I do that?
I guess, but if you're wrong, I will interrupt you.
Right. So go ahead
If
and
you're gonna
close the
be
hole below your
incorrect,
nose.
I'll
Right.
stop you.
So again, so let's talk about feminism. So what am I wrong about?
No one is saying that it's easier to get pregnant when you're in your 30s.
How did you get that out of anything?
Okay, that has nothing to do
Well,
with what I
women
said. I
who
never
are
made that
waiting to
positive
have
claim.
babies until
Did I
they're
make the
37
positive? Listen,
are having
okay,
infertility issues. No,
okay,
don't.
listen, troglodyte, I'm speaking. Did I ever say out of my
Is
mouth, did
there
it ever come out of
anyone
my mouth that
that you
women have
know?
said that it's easier to get pregnant at 37 years old?
No, the opposite.
Okay,
Honey,
right.
the
So can you
opposite
address
is
what I
to.
said, please?
I don't even know what you said because I
Right,
was
so you're not
correcting you.
listening. That's the problem.
Because I was
That's the problem.
correcting your
You should have listened the
mispronunciation of
first time.
vagina.
Well, that's what happens when you interrupt so much, is that you don't actually listen to the person speaking.
Vagina.
So Toe,
Yes,
if you don't even know what Stitch
vagina,
said,
something.
if you don't even know
So,
the claim Stitch made, then how are you able to like argue against it if you don't even
He
know
wasn't
what?
making a claim. He was spewing an opinion
All
about
right.
when
So
having babies later.
while he gives a
a
claim,
claim.
if you don't understand the
Not a
claim,
claim.
maybe you
It's
should
just an
ask him to
opinion.
make the claim again so you can respond appropriately.
I was actually responding to Catholic before Mr. Vagina interrupted. And that Catholic is blaming women for waiting to have babies for
Who said
their
that?
potential infertility.
I said that first
No,
of
I
all.
think
It
the
was not
second
Catholic.
wave of
It
feminism
was
has
not
caused a lot of
Catholic.
issues.
I just want to correct something.
you
It
heard
was
out
not
of that.
Catholic.
You heard
It
of
was not
that like you
Catholic.
wanted to
One
hear.
at a time. One at a time.
Just really quick, it was not Catholic the one that said it. You
Bitch.
disagreed with me. I was the one that said it. Verbatim. I'm blaming women.
Verbatim.
Verbatim. I said it. I'm blaming
Why
women.
are you wait? Hold on. Why are you making fun of how people pronounce words? I don't get it.
Because the word
Because she
vagina
has
is
nothing
not
better
a
to do.
difficult
All she can do is sit here and just
If you
like, I don't
can't
know what she's
pronounce the
trying to
word
do.
vagina, you don't get an opinion on this topic.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah.
What we're doing. This is not. What
Yeah, like Toe, like if you actually listen.
I'm sorry. Hang on, Catholic.
What would
I'm sorry.
Jesus
She's
do,
responding.
Catholic?
She's responding to me. She's saying, so you think that I have to have a
not do what
vagina
you're
in order
doing
to have
right
an
now.
opinion?
Toe.
No, you have to be able to learn how to pronounce the word vagina to even begin
Yeah,
I
having
can
a
pronounce.
conversation.
I
Toe,
can
like
pronounce
Jesus wouldn't be
vagina.
doing
Can
what
you
you're
No,
doing.
pronounce
you just
vagina?
mispronounced
Can you do it?
vagina.
Do it
Vaginal
again.
cannot.
Say vagina.
Vaginal? Vaginal is how
I'm
you
not
would
taking this
pronounce it.
seriously. We should move on. We should
I'm not taking Stitch seriously. Fuck him.
Is
Yeah,
Stitch
well,
pronounce
no,
feminism?
thank
I
you.
know what Jesus wouldn't do,
No,
and he
no,
wouldn't
thank
be
you.
acting
Here's the
like you,
thing.
Toe.
Just
How
really,
about
can I
that?
address
Which
her
is
just
how.
really quick?
How
Wait,
would
hold
you
on,
Really
hold
quick.
on. Let Stitch take this one. Fine.
Why? He's a dumbass. I'm not gonna
Well,
engage with
okay,
someone
you
who's
can't engage,
can't
lady.
pronounce
You
vagina.
can't engage. You're just
Wait,
spurging out. Can you
wait,
engage with what I
Stitch.
told you? Yes or
Can
no?
you
And
can you
vaginal,
describe? Can you
vaginal,
mansplain to
and
me
just so you
the
know,
menstrual
vaginal
cycle?
is a word. Okay, I need you to go look it up in the dictionary. Can you engage with what I said?
Describe the menstrual cycle from start to finish.
Can you? I don't need to do that. Can
The
you
answer is no.
describe to
You don't
me?
get to
Can
have
you
an
tell me
opinion.
what any
Go
issues
back
you
and
had
take 8th grade
with what I
biology.
told you? Can you tell me with anything that you had
Your
in
GED doesn't
contention
count
with
for
what
anything.
I said? Yes or no?
Not too much on GD now. I have one as well.
It doesn't
I
count.
have a degree in, first of all, I have a degree in anatomical science as well as I'm getting a
No, you
neurological
do
degree. So
not.
I'm just
That's a
confused why you're trying to say
bold-faced
that I'm
lie.
Stitch, bro.
uneducated. But
Stitch.
you can't even
Stitch.
engage with
Bold-faced lie,
shut
Mr.
up. Can you
Vaginal.
please shut up?
The
Can you
vaginal.
engage with what I'm telling you? Yes or no?
Okay.
I said, but Vaginal canal. I said vaginal canal. You're not listening.
Didn't gaslighter.
Yes, I did. I said vaginal canal.
Professional liar.
Just like your dad when he
Oh,
said that he
not
was going to be there for you, but this is the demonstration that he wasn't
The
there.
Republicans
So
are
can
not
you
selling their
actually
best.
engage with the conversation? Yes or
The
no?
pro-lifers are not
Can
selling
you
their best.
actually engage in the conversation? Yes or no?
Not with a dumbass.
Not
Wait,
with the
hold on.
dumbass. What makes me a
We're just gonna
dumbass?
move
Right to say
on.
Can you
that.
tell me what
We're
specifically?
just gonna move on.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
Is Stitch
y'all
your
invited
friendly?
me. Bye.
Okay, goodbye. Find your daddy. Find your
Stitch.
daddy.
Oh
Stitch,
yeah.
bro.
Let's block them. They do this all the time.
Stitch, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I did not know that you were friendly.
I didn't know that they were even in this live.
I didn't know Stitch was a friendly. I thought he
Wait,
was.
why are they still in the live? I just blocked them.
It takes a while.
Yeah, thanks.
That's my fault, Stitch.
No, he's good. He's good.
you're-
I seen her in other lives. She's disingenuous. Not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you could have gotten out of what she said unless you weren't listening at all, and you only heard the bits and pieces that you wanted to hear that somehow is blaming women. Obviously, I mentioned third-wave feminism. That could imply men and women, whoever's involved in that movement, right?
Wait, but that's what I said. Like, it's that I was the one that said that, but she wasn't listening. That's the problem.
That's why I told her she needs to listen with both her ears and not with her mouth.
Well, pro-choicers have a problem with that. They use their mouth to listen. So,
They use their mouth for everything.
yeah. Well, that's true as well.
That's why we have this problem.
We don't have to stay pregnant if we don't want to be. You're a savage mom. So let me ask you this: do you love your daughter? Would you regret not having your daughter in your life? Since you want to say that.
Wait, do they agree with the prompt? Are they?
No, they said we don't have to stay pregnant if we don't want to be.
Yeah. What's the argument for that?
But she's a mom. That's sad. That's honestly
That
scary.
is sad. Imagine
That is sad as
advocating-
can be, dude.
Imagine advocating for offing children as a mom. That's wild.
You have
I
three
have
boys.
three
I feel
boys.
so sorry for them kids. Oh my gosh, dude.
Who's Diva?
Diva's the one that's up here with the Blues Clues.
Wait, didn't we
profile
talk to
picture.
them? Wait, didn't we talk to them like yesterday?
I feel like she did, but I feel like she switched her profile picture.
PC is pro-choice. Diva, you can unmute your mic and introduce yourself.
Oh no, not Bunny. No, not Bunny. Nothing.
Bunny's here.
Oh no.
Is Bunny friendly?
Yes.
I'm a moderator.
All right.
Well, yeah. With
like
that
it.
last person, the IQ level dropped to like 20. So glad they're gone. Toby's is gone.
No, but that's actually like terrifying to hear that a mom of three boys supports unaliving innocent children.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
You couldn't figure out that they were that you were actually having children in the womb through all three of those pregnancies, that they were actually alive.
Have the abortion if you want or need, ladies. That's actually insane, dude. Oh my gosh.
Wait, Jay, join the live. Join the panel.
I just know DV is very high in that family, probably.
Jay Una. No, don't let Red Ion up. I already debated Red Ion.
Savage Mom, I would Savage Mom. How about she come up? I don't have him.
Yeah,
It's not gonna come on.
Yeah, Red Ion left as soon as I called him out.
I promise. I'll be civil.
Jayana's a friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably drop for someone who's not.
Hello, Jayana.
Hi. What's up, family?
Oh, so, hold on. Savage Mom says nope, never. So she literally agreed with what.
Girl, I just said you'll never need one. Like, what? Is she okay?
She's probably
Yeah.
you know, based
Well,
off that bio and that emoji in her name, she's probably not all here right now.
That conscience is definitely like, oh yeah, you're right, 420, yeah, for sure.
I'm speechless.
Wait, that's
Girl,
actually
are you
insane.
okay?
We're just literally full of pro-life.
I hope those three kids aren't, like.
Nope, I'll never
Yeah,
need
she
one.
has kids.
Yep.
Keep up.
And she still advocates for it. 3 boys.
Yeah, she has 3 boys, but yet she's pro-choice.
Casey Anthony mindset right there.
Yeah, oh for sure, yeah.
That is actually insane.
Or Crystal Candelario as well. Yeah.
You
All
know,
right, any opposition? Any
you
opposition?
recognize when some of the youth come up and they're like, "Who's Casey Anthony?" It's like, oh man.
Well, no, we're all pro life up here, which I'm confused.
I'm an abolitionist.
Yeah,
Well,
W.
that's. I mean, you're
Ooh,
pro life. That's pro life.
another abolitionist friend, huh?
That part, yeah, we don't need a maybe, y'all. It's really not necessary.
If you
Yeah.
get any opposition in a box, I don't mind dropping so that if you get someone that wants to come up, I will drop so that you can have a box free for them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
do
see
the
anyone
same.
joining. I'm not sure if I should restart. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say maybe you should.
Yeah, is Linda Ann an op? I think so. I
No,
think
no,
Drop
no,
two
no.
because
Linda,
Linda's not an op.
well, she
Yeah,
holds
Linda.
the collegial position.
I don't consider that to be an op, honestly.
Let me ask
I
Savage
do.
Mom something real quick.
I do too. I do.
To be fair, I love Linda, but I do consider that to be any person that gives a graphic deception to me is an op.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
agree.
don't take that position.
Well, I mean, me and Jayon are abolitionists, so we don't support abortion in any circumstance at all.
I don't get
W.
any exception.
Not even for
I don't
medical.
think you
Wait,
get
not
exception.
even in medical for like just
I'm
the
pro life.
principle.
Medical reason that requires you to unalive a baby.
Yeah.
That's pragmatically speaking, but I'm asking you just in principle.
No.
Okay, then that
Yeah,
would lead to some sort of contradiction.
W.
yeah, like if there's a situation where I feel like if the only way that she can preserve her life is to remove the child from the womb, I wouldn't be okay with any action that would directly target the child, but like removing an induction, even if it unalives a child, I think is a correct action in that case to preserve the life of the mother.
Wait. I think they
Let
said
me
they.
ask you this. Hold on, let me say something real quick. So let me say, are you okay, Mike? You're Catholic, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with like the Catholic religion, but do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
You believe in
Yes.
God's work in giving life to humans?
Yep.
That scenario of the mother passing away due to giving birth is God bringing a life into the world and taking one away. That is God's work
That's a
and
very
God's doing.
disgusting thing to say.
Yeah,
To say
like I
that
would
God
That
say,
is
is
like
not a
I would
disgusting
use
thing
I
to
would just
say.
use the quietest
It
double
absolutely is.
double.
How
You're
is
trying
it?
to wait. No, you're trying to say that God is purposely unaliving the mother in order to bring a child into the world.
That's not what I'm saying. The mother probably.
That is literally
That's how.
verbatim what you just
Okay.
said.
Let me ask you
Hold
this.
on. Speaking of which, I wanted to ask a question about this because I asked a few people about this. So you give the self-defense principle, right? Aren't people supposed to aren't we supposed to model our lives just like Jesus? So like Jesus gave his life so everybody else can live. Why wouldn't a mother be expected to do the same for her own
My
child?
Yeah,
issue with
because
this,
we're not
Did y'all see
Jesus,
that
and
comment?
nowhere in the Bible
my issue with
does it
this line
say
of
that.
thinking is you can do this with anything. Like you can justify not taking a child to a hospital by saying that like if God wants this child to live, well he'll heal him, or like this is what this type of line of thinking like leads
Well,
to.
hold
These
on.
type
Did you guys
these
see
type of
Savage
things.
Mom's comment?
One at a time. Well, we're not listening to paying attention to her at the moment, but like, do you believe that parents are obligated to do what they can to keep their children alive? Like, if your child is on the train tracks, right, and just a mother, do you think it's permissible for a mother to just stand there and let her child get hit by a train and do nothing?
If the action was in order to stop it was that she had to get in front of the train or like to take her own life to save the child's life, I would say no. She has no obligation to do it. It might be like heroic in nature.
Bro,
And
why
I
do they
would say
leave?
that I would
This is
say
my
that would
issue
be her
with fucking
choice.
the two people. Wait, hang on. The two people that are abolitionists that we would literally have. This is my issue with abolitionists. Every time they get any fucking pushback, they fucking leave. So irritating.
I'm gonna have to have a problem with this stance. Like a mother would just like stand there and let her child get hit by a train.
But how are we pro life? How do we even say we're like pro life for and then we advocate on behalf of the mother as well if we're just like, well yeah, then it truly becomes the pro-choice meme that we only care about the fetus.
Right. But this is only the threshold. Like, I think it's kind of, in my opinion, I think it's kind of crazy that a parent does not have an obligation for their children. They're just gonna stand there and let them get.
No, they have an obligation.
If
Wait,
they
guys,
can
but
do
we're not
something,
saying that they don't have an obligation. What we're saying is they don't have to self-sacrifice to this obligation. You wouldn't hold this true with any other type of obligation. It would just be special pleading. That's why I say that it leads to some sort of contradiction, right? Like, or some sort of like logical inconsistency, right? Because it leads to the fact that if it was any other type of obligation, you would not hold this to be correct, right? Like, if I have an obligation, a contractual agreement to work for somebody, you wouldn't say that I have to give up my life in order to fulfill this obligation, right? So why would that hold true in the instance of a parental obligation?
And mine holds true to my faith too, by the way. Mine would hold to Aquinas' double effect.
Yeah,
rule,
the doctrine of double effect. Yeah, because
doctrine
that's
of
what I was
double
about to
effect.
say. If you go into Aquinas' doctrine of double effect,
Yeah.
this allows you to understand where there's situations which you could do something that by itself might be initially considered wrong, but in a way where the result, that regardless of the result, the action's right. Like, for example, you would say like self-unaliving is wrong, correct?
Right. Yes.
All right. Let's say a ball that, explodes was thrown, and I throw my body on this ball to save my comrades. Would this be a virtuous act?
Yeah. Well, I would say self-deletion is immoral, but like.
Yeah. But so in that case, I knew my life was going to be forfeited. However, I did it in an action that was going to preserve the people around me's life, therefore making it a virtuous action. Would you say that's a morally wrong action to have done that?
No, because I think the intention is like sacrificing.
Yeah,
yourself.
intentions matter. So in abortion, when we're talking about the act of self-preservation, would you say that the woman in an act to self-preserve, that self-preservation is bad?
No.
All right. Would you say she knows the necessary outcomes of termination of pregnancy that isn't to intend the death of the child? Does she 100% know the outcome of this?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well, I specifically gave.
Like, for example, if you get induced labor or a C-section to terminate a pregnancy, we don't necessarily know whether or not this child is going to make it or not. We might have like certain types of informations to deduct chances of this child living, but we're not purposely unaliving this child. So there's still a probability of this child surviving, correct?
Right. And even in the cases of the early induction, our argument would be that the doctor should do everything in their possibility
to preserve the child as well.
The life of the child, even if they have to, in the rare circumstance they have to induce labor, where the pro-choice is going to say they're not going to have that requirement. In fact, and they're going to allow for the child to be if abortion means doing like a D&E where they tear apart or they unalive the child first before they remove it, which is what abortion really does. They're going to be okay with that. We're saying that's not permissible.
Yeah.
Under that, you can remove the child if that's the reason why. And
so
only if that's the reason why.
Yeah, so to continue with it, the intent there would be for self-preservation, not for the unaliving of the child. And then is the action serious enough? I would say your life being preserved is a serious enough cause. Just like the original example, my intent wasn't for me self-unaliving. It was to protect my comrades. And protecting my comrade's life is a serious enough act to make that case. So therefore it fits the doctrine of double effect. Therefore, this is acceptable.
So I see it, right? So in the case of like a train, let's say the mother, in order to save her own life, she throws her child at the train. Would that be impermissible?
That would be impermissible.
Permissible, yeah, correct. Because she's doing an act where she knows that she is purposely doing this to save her life, causing the demise. There would have to be like an unknown factor there, or for it to fit the doctrine of double effect. Yeah.
Like a good example is, let's just say you had a scenario where you had two people that they went overboard, right? And so you were trying to save both of them, right? Maybe you can't save both. Maybe you can't save both of them. You can get to one of them realistically, right? But you couldn't use push down on the body of one of them, which unalived, just to have a better chance to save the other one. That would not be a permissible action.
I agree. Well, okay. So you think this threshold is only acceptable if her life is in danger. So let's say the train example again, right? Let's say if she saves a child, she breaks her leg. You think she's obligated in that scenario?
Yes.
If she doesn't lose, what if
Yeah,
she
I would
loses
say
her
she
leg?
does. What if she loses her
What if
leg?
she loses?
I still think she should. I would say I still think she should.
Okay. What if she gets paralyzed and she can never? Well, okay, I guess that'll be the same scenario. But
I think you can
like,
go,
it would
you can
only
keep
be
going down that threshold, and you eventually get to where like, yeah, like it's gonna get a lot, you know, then you're really gonna have to start thinking about that more and more. But I would say that ultimately, like it'd be one thing like that train example you gave. Let's just say that train's not gonna come for another 30 seconds, and she could easily push that child out of the way, and she just doesn't do it. Yeah, I would find her wrong in that situation. The only way I would say that situation would be even permissible is if she know that she has very good reason. That train's approaching right now, and most mothers would probably try to do whatever they could, right? But I just wouldn't find any fault in her if she didn't, if she knew she would lose her life by saving a child. I cannot fault anyone for that.
No, and the Dr. Double effect, you got to remember, intent is always going to be one of the 4 steps, and there has to be like some sort of like greater good achieved by the action that has to be perceived to be neutral or good at minimum
I see.
from the beginning, and it also has to be a serious enough thing. Like, so you would have to deem that it has to meet some threshold of serious enough for there to be like it to be just. So the intent would have to be just, the original purpose would have to be just, and the action itself or the situation itself would have to be serious enough to meet this criteria.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give you another scenario. Let's say I'm going to use the Heimlich maneuver. Right. Let's say the mother, right, her child is choking. Would she be required to perform a Heimlich maneuver, right?
Yes.
But I'll also add, right, doing the Heimlich maneuver causes so much stress that she'll self-unalive afterwards. You think she's permissible there?
Well, the problem with the Dr. Double effect is we wouldn't know that doing the Heimlich would cause her unalivement.
Yeah, and I would just use the same logic I would use on abortion for that.
No.
I don't think people saying that, oh, I'm going to unalive myself if I don't get this abortion. I don't think that's ever acceptable movement. If someone says, oh, well, why not? I'm like, well, apply that to a 2-year-old. Do you think that she can unalive her 2-year-old just because she's under stress? No. So in that particular case, no, I don't think that's enough of a justification. I think she should perform the Heimlich maneuver to save that child's life.
Yeah. What if she was a germaphobe? What if she's like so afraid of touching?
So afraid of what?
What if she was like a germaphobe, right? Would that change your opinion?
That's not justification.
It's not going to be a justification either.
As a matter of fact, if you want to look at it how it actually is, when you are pregnant, your immune system actually gets better. Hello, I'm a medical provider. I know that you were talking about medicine. And I can say with absolute certainty there is no medical reason to abort.
Oh, I agree. I was just throwing some gut views like.
Yeah, I would say at the least, if there's some kind of extreme circumstance where you had to induce labor early, that would be a possible justification. But I think in many cases, we see that it depends on the provider you have, how they handle at-risk pregnancies. You have some that they want to immediately just jump to, first circumstance to where some difficulty, abortion's an option, versus treating the woman holistically and trying to look at some of those issues and how can we improve the woman's overall health, that it's not the pregnancy might be aggravating some of these symptoms to a certain extent, but it's not always the sole reason why she's having these particular reasons. Treating the underlying health conditions helps the mother and the child as well. So treating them both as patients.
Right.
Hey, Pia, how old are you?
And here's another thing.
Wait.
When you look at a pregnant woman, you are looking at 2 patients. You are looking at mom, which is primary patient number 1. When we cannot help mom, we do everything in our power to help baby. That's why this what's her Smith gal?
Adriana Smith?
Yeah, Adriana Smith. That's why Adriana Smith is currently being kept on life support. We can't do anything for mom. She had multiple blood clots in her brain. She was effectively dead the moment she woke up that day. There's just no way around it. However, baby was unaffected. So we can do everything in our power to, sorry, we can't help mom, but we can help baby.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we actually have a name for the baby. His name is Chandler.
Chance is Chance.
Ooh.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. We got to continue this conversation after. What is your age? I mean, what is your stance, Pia?
Choice.
You guys can. I mean, if you guys can take this, Ronnie.
Who would you like to? Who would you like to talk to?
I mean,
Tanera
I got invited up here by somebody on the panel, so I mean,
Yeah, that was Tanera.
No, it doesn't.
Bunny can talk to her.
I invited her up. He wants to.
Oh, okay.
Her,
No,
so
that's not what I'm saying. Anyone can talk to her. I've been debating all day. But what's your stance? I'll investigate her stance and then I'll hand it over.
I mean, I guess somebody invited me up because of what I was commenting. I had HG during my pregnancy. If you don't know what that is, it's hyperemesis gravidarum, severe sickness. I don't know. Does anybody here know about that? Because it's really not
Describe it
talked
for
about.
the panel so there's no confusion. I mean, I know what it is, but just like generally describe it so people have an idea for it.
Well, it's not like morning sickness. You will be throwing up at least 10 times a day. That was how it was for me. It can get to the point where you're admitted in the hospital so they can prescribe drugs for you, or somebody comes to your house.
And
and they can give
dehydration
you that
for
drug.
rehydrating, yeah.
Yeah. Also for malnutrition, which was happening for me. I lost 13 pounds within a week. So the statistics on it, there are women who will experience that during their pregnancy and not want to carry on another pregnancy. There are some women who end their lives. I think a few months ago, there was this mother, she ended her life because of this sickness. It's the reason of
Well,
why
we
I had
can't
my
use
abortion.
self-unalivement cases to justify unaliving people. I don't think that's
I'm sorry.
intuitive. I don't think we could use like self-unalivement cases to justify unaliving people. I don't think that's a justification. All right, so what about this disorder? Because I'm familiar with it. Do you think justifies or meets the threshold necessary to unalive the child in utero? Go ahead.
I mean, well, that was the reason I had to unalive my child. I couldn't live. I could not go to work.
I think there's enough medical treatments where this wouldn't be a threshold of your life in danger.
It's
or
life threatening. Look it
your
up.
life.
That's why I said that.
I'm very aware of what this is. I'm very aware of what this is and the treatments for this. I don't see this while being medically treated being life
Okay,
threatening.
so just because there's a treatment does not mean the way it affects you is okay. There are treatments for cancer,
I'm
and
not,
it does not make
I'm not
cancer any less
challenging
unbearable.
effect.
I'm sorry. Can you? I'm not interrupting you.
I'm
So
not.
can you just like?
I know, but but here's the thing. I'm not challenging whether or not it affects you. I'm challenging whether or not it meets a threshold where your life is in immediate danger while getting treatment. All right, go ahead.
It is. If the treatment does not work for you, depending on the medications that they give for you, there are different types of medications. It treats everybody differently. For me, it was malnutrition and dehydration. So, I mean, it's life threatening ultimately. This isn't waking up and you feel nauseous, or you're eating your food and then you feel a little nauseous, but then you can go back to your food. That's not that. This is not a regular pregnancy thing. This is rare. Look it up. It shows that it's not common. So,
Okay.
it's
Again,
not.
I don't find this to be life-threating with treatment.
Okay,
So,
I'll go
can you
another
tell
route.
me
I'll
where
go
this
another
meets
route.
this
I'll go another
threshold?
route. I'll ask you another question. So, at one point, can somebody be sick and call it enough?
I don't think sick alone is a justification to take a life. I think your life has to be in immediate danger in order to justify
How long have
this.
you ever stayed
And
inside a
either
hospital?
way, I don't think an abortion would be the proper procedure to further along the termination of pregnancy.
Yeah, I understand that. How long have you been admitted in a hospital?
It's irrelevant how long I've been admitted to a hospital.
I mean, I'm just asking whether it was like whether you even had an IV in your arm. How long have you had an IV in your arm?
I work in a hospital. It's irrelevant how long I've had an IV in my arm. I've seen a lot of medical cases
I'm
over the
saying for
years.
you. I'm saying you personally. Everybody has been in a
It does.
hospital.
I do not have to answer any personal issues about my own personal health care. I don't think it's appropriate to ask me about my personal health care. I have not asked you about that. I've only asked about certain
Well, that's what
disorders
my entire
and whether or not
conversation was
it's
about.
justified. Well, that's anecdotal that we can't even challenge or check.
You can check the statistics.
So,
That's why.
all right. So what we can do is we can look at the information.
That's what I mentioned a
We can
lot.
look at the types of
Statistics on
case.
it.
Yes, and you failed to tell me where it met a threshold where the life's in immediate danger while getting medical treatment.
Because not all medical treatment works. That's why I had to have my abortion. I didn't even have the time to sit in a hospital for weeks on end for my entire first trimester. And that's if it ended for my first trimester. For my entire first trimester to put my life on hold. And you already, in a way, you put your life on hold when you have a baby, but you can still move around. You can still breathe. You can still eat.
We can't really hear you.
Wait, can you justify it without using any anecdotes? So are you saying you're against abortion in all other cases, or are you only allowing it? Are you only allowing it for medical reasons?
I am pro-choice for any reason. If any reason you
Then why are you arguing the anecdotal of medical care?
because this was I had multiple reasons.
All right. So if you think
that was my biggest reason.
if you think abortion is permissible, no matter what, including in healthy pregnancy, healthy mother, healthy child, I'm going to need you to justify this under the general typical framework before we get into any exceptions. So again, tell me why it's morally permissible for a mother to unalive her child in utero. Go ahead.
If they're both healthy, if a mother does not want a child, why should she parent one?
All right. So do you think want is enough reason to unalive your child?
Why should you parent something or have something you do not want? This goes for
It's
anything.
already there. This is already there. This is already a life in existence at this point. So again,
It's not a
is
life,
one-
actually. It's not.
A life
it's
begins
not
at
a life.
conception. Do you think life doesn't begin at conception?
If you birth a 6-week-old fetus, it will
All
not be
right.
life living.
All right. That's viability. That is not definition of life. When does human life begin?
Human life begins when you breathe, in my opinion.
All right.
A
So can you give me a
6-week-old fetus
scientific
as well
source?
cannot
All
live.
right. I want you to pull me up a scientific source that backs up your claim that life begins when you first start breathing. And also, what is the purpose of breathing from a cellular level? Like, what do we do when we breathe? Could you tell me that?
We get oxygen into our systems.
Yes. And what do we do with that
throughout our
oxygen?
blood.
And what do we do with that oxygen?
We breathe it back out, which turns into carbon
No, we
dioxide.
don't breathe oxygen back out. We exchange
We breathe
oxygen
it out,
for
which turns
carbon
into
dioxide.
carbon
at a
dioxide.
Wait. I'll explain it to you since you're a little lacking here. All right, so we take this oxygen and we exchange it for carbon dioxide in the cells called cellular respiration. Do you think the child in utero doesn't go through cellular respiration, or do you think they do?
They're not breathing air, so.
All right, okay. The child in utero is going through oxygen carbon dioxide exchange its whole existence. Okay, this goes through cellular respiration. So if your criteria is cellular respiration, because that's what breathing's purposes is for,
Is it strong enough for them to survive outside the womb?
even irrelevant. Your claim was breathing, and breathing leads to cellular respiration. So if cellular respiration is enough, you would give moral consideration from conception for the child in
It's
utero.
not enough because they can't survive on their own. We can
All right.
survive on
So
our
breathing
own.
is now. Breathing is now irrelevant. What is your next stance?
I didn't say breathing was irrelevant because they cannot
Right,
survive
we
on
just-
their
we
own.
just-
Just because that is
You-
happening.
You
does
just
not mean
conceded that breathing wasn't enough.
Stone, can I ask her a hypothetical real quick in regards to the baby?
Sure.
Okay, so Pia, have you ever heard of a water birth?
Yes.
Okay, so when a mother is having a water birth, right, that child, when it's being delivered fully out of her, still is underwater, and it can remain underwater until it breathes its first air outside of the water. So under your framework, if you think that it's not alive until it takes its first breath, would it be morally permissible to unalive that child while it's still under the water?
I was talking about the fetus. That's why I mentioned 20 week, because a baby being born and a baby being able to do that, they reach that gestational period where they are able to survive.
Wait,
A
what?
20-week
What?
fetus
This
has
is
a
a
very
whole
low
entire
chance of
different
surviving.
stance.
I mean, I'm not for abortion if you are full term, but if your baby cannot live on its own, If your baby has the
All
literal
right, let's
smallest
just
chance
question
of
the
surviving a
viability.
20-week fetus.
Yes,
Wait,
exactly.
didn't
What is
you just
viability?
completely change your stance?
Yeah, she
though?
just changed her stance. So what is viability?
One at a time.
Yeah, what is viability? Pia, could you define viability for me?
Why you guys muted me? Just to go back, because hold on, you guys are moving. Hold on.
Could you
I
define
never
viability
said.
for me?
Hold on. I don't even think that there is a state that has abortions up to full term.
That's irrelevant. I don't care what the laws are
But that's
currently.
what I'm saying.
These are all.
I never
This is
said.
a
Wait, hold on.
Just
That's
because
not
I'm pro-choice does not mean I'm for you getting rid of your baby at full term. I never said that. But a 20-week-old fetus, a 20-week fetus is not going to be
All right,
surviving on
okay,
its own.
okay. So
So
viability
if a
is
water
what
birth
you're
happens,
arguing.
that's
All
it's
right, so
because
you're
the
arguing.
baby survived the
Wait,
term.
wait. You're arguing viability now. Could you define viability for me?
When the baby can survive on its own. What I think
All
that's
right, so
around the
viability.
chances.
I'll help you
I'm
out.
sorry.
I'll help
Okay,
you
I'll
out.
rephrase it. I'll rephrase it because I know you hate the way I phrase things. I think it's when it's either 24 or 26 weeks.
That's a
That's
time
when the
period, not
baby.
the definition. But that's not the definition. That's a time period. If you want me to provide a definition, if you don't feel comfortable, I will, and you can accept it or
You
not.
can provide me a definition,
All right.
but
So
a heartbeat.
viability is the ability to survive in the environment around you. Would you agree?
It can survive in the womb. Sure.
All right. I'm not adding things. It's just as simple as surviving in the
If that's
environment.
their environment,
All
that's
right.
the environment.
So the
That's the
child is
environment.
viable in the womb
In the
at a certain
womb.
point, and then they become viable outside the womb at a certain point. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying they don't get moral consideration until they're viable outside the womb. Correct?
Because they can't live or breathe the
Right.
air.
So
Yeah.
you don't consider them morally considerable until that point. Correct?
Sure.
All right. So if you're viable in the environment which you're in right now, correct?
Yes.
Would it be wrong of me to place you in outer space where you're not viable and you unalive, or should you still have moral consideration making me place you in a situation where you're not viable, causing your demise and unalivement? Go ahead.
You have no reason to do anything to me because our bodies are not intersecting with each other, and what I do does not
Could you
affect your
please
body.
answer?
And
Could you
what
please
do,
answer the
that is my
question?
answer because
No,
this isn't
answer
just
the
a.
question.
That is my
That's
answer.
not answering my question.
We. I'm
Is
not
it
answering
wrong
the
for
question
me?
in the way
Is
you
it
may
wrong
like.
for me? Is it wrong for me to take you from a state, a place in which you're viable, and putting you in a place where you're not viable and will unalive? Yes or no?
My answer still stands. We're not just talking about two people that are
Please
meeting
don't be bad-faced.
randomly.
Please answer the question.
I cannot answer a question that you're giving me because it's not even close to what we're discussing.
Yes, it's exactly close. You know what principle I'm
But our
testing?
bodies are not.
right,
First off,
what
if you
principle
can,
am I
okay,
testing?
okay. How about this? How about this?
No,
Make
answer
an
what I'm
analogy.
testing. No. Answer this. What am I testing? What principle am I testing so you understand why I'm using this line of thinking?
I would rather you just try to use a different analogy where both of our bodies are being like, because a baby's not really a parasite, but in a way, can you make an analogy
All
where
right. Listen.
a parasite is being
I'm
used?
questioning viability. It does dependency and viability are two different things. All right. Why
I
do you
didn't
keep
say, but I'm
shifting
just
the
saying,
goalposts?
put something as we're like, because I'm handcuffed to you or we're conjoined, something has to happen, and now I can't
No,
be
but
viable
that
anymore. Like,
doesn't
do
test
something like that.
viability.
Do something
But
I
that
can
doesn't
actually
test viability.
connect with.
All right, fine. How about this? Okay, you're viable in this environment right now, but instead, I push you into a volcano where the air
No,
is
do
very
something
ashy
where our
and you're
bodies
not
are
viable.
connected. That's the whole point of pregnancy.
That's not testing viability.
But I'm just saying, connect it further. If we really want to talk about viability, you can be so broad.
No, I am testing the principle of viability. If you can't track that, you need help tracking things.
No, because it's not the same. Viability is not the same for every
Yes,
single
it
thing.
is.
For
It's
every
a
single thing.
principle. I'm testing your principle. I am testing your principle. If you think I am not testing this honestly, give me the symmetry breaker.
I'm sorry. You said what?
If you don't think this is an honest comparison to testing viability, give me
I
the
already
symmetry
said, give me an
breaker. Go
analogy
ahead.
like we're conjoined. Where are both of our bodies?
I
our
don't need a
bodies. Do something
conjoined
like that.
case. I don't need to add
But why
conjoined
can't
to
you?
test
Why
viability.
can't you? You already made up like 3 different
I don't
analogies.
need to. You are being very dishonest right now because I don't need to. I'm testing it already, and you're avoiding the,
I'm not
the
avoiding
actual
it.
question.
I'm not avoiding it because
Yes, you
you're
are.
doing that for fun.
Is it
You're
wrong
just doing
for
that
me?
for fun.
Is it? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Is it wrong for me to place you in a state where you were viable into a state in which you're not?
Why
Yes
would
or
you do
no?
that?
I'm testing your principle. Why would you do that to the child in utero?
Because it's connected to a woman's body. Because she has the thought
Irrelevant.
of if she wants to carry it. Because sickness occurs.
Irrelevant.
Because I was unable to
Irrelevant.
drive for 2 weeks.
Irrelevant. Why do you have the right to do
Because I
that?
have a life that I deserve to live. I'm breathing. I am
That's
here.
not a right. What,
My
you don't even-
7-week-old
I doubt you even
fetus
know what
was
a right
not
is.
living the same
All right,
life.
so again,
You know what?
Again,
you know this
again.
is well. Everybody, take a deep breath. Pia, I came up here actually originally to offer some sympathy for your anecdotal. I'm a pro-lifer, and I came up here originally to offer you some sympathy because I have a friend that experienced that, and it was horrendous. And I think that we, even as pro-lifers, should discuss very complex cases like that. Certainly, if the mother has other children and maybe she's a single mom and doesn't have help raising her children, to be my friend was in the hospital for months. Okay. So I came up here originally to offer you some sympathy for your situation. Okay. But we're now at the point where Stone, the gentleman in the corner there, we're talking about healthy pregnancies. Okay. And healthy mothers. Okay. And you are like so far off track. So you need to lock in with him. Okay. Stop going back to your anecdotal. Let's just, for the sake of argument, just for the sake of argument, just to get, so you stop using your anecdotal. Let's just say that fell under the medical exception. Okay. Now move on with him, please, and engage in good faith. Healthy mother, healthy child. Thank you.
Okay. So
Again,
because
we're
somebody's
testing
healthy-
viability.
Okay, hold on. I'm just replying to her. I'm really replying to her because I like her better than you. So
Yeah, because you're getting dog walked
because
right
a
now.
woman is healthy, it means that she's able, or she has to carry a baby.
That's not the claim. Again, you
I'm just
said
asking. I was
viability was
asking. I didn't say it was
necessary.
a claim. I'm just asking.
Wait,
It's a yes or no,
wait.
and I was talking to her.
You're
really, so.
sidetracking this whole thing. You're
I
sidetracking
went
it
back
again.
to the healthy mother thing. I'm talking
No,
to
you're
the woman.
sidetracking this again.
Olive?
We need to go back to the principle in which we were testing. You said viability was necessary for moral consideration. So if this is the case, would I be just in taking you from a state in which you're viable and placing you into a state in which you're not? Or would that be wrong of me to do so, and why? Go ahead.
Well, that's happening today with breathing children.
Please answer the question.
Family court. It's not your turn. And the child is alive in the womb. It respirates. We already covered this. Maybe you're late to the
Yeah,
party.
so please answer the question.
Okay,
Respirating
so
is the
with
same
the
as
healthy
breathing.
mother being able to, what was the question about you throwing me in a volcano? What was it?
I'm
If it's
taking you
okay.
from a state in which you're viable and placing you into an environment in which you're not. Would this be wrong of me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because you
that's
want
not what
children
abortion
abused.
is.
That's not an answer.
You want children abused.
Why is that wrong? Because I am my own person, and so as you. That's really just
All
my
right, so
answer on
so
it.
in other words, viability is not going to hold up in your framework. What's your next stance since you want to pivot again?
Well, I guess I'll talk about the healthy moms thing, but if I'm talking about that, I'll go to Olive. So thank you
We've
so
been
much.
talking about
Annie,
healthy
for your
moms this
time.
whole time, so I don't know why you
Well,
even saying
actually,
that.
No, actually, we
You're
weren't.
not a healthy
But
mom.
Can I ask?
Family
Can I ask
court,
her a
shut
question
your
real
ass
quick?
up.
Can I ask her? a
Yeah,
question
I
real
don't
quick?
think she's tracking what I'm saying, so maybe you could word it better for her.
Yeah, Paya, just to take your argument, right? Like you're saying, like viability is what matters to you. Do you think that at the point of viability, like when that is at 20 or 21 weeks, wherever you say it is, right? Do you think at that point that the mother should still have the like she should be required to carry that child to term past that? Like if she just finds out that she's having that child, or does she have to induce labor at that point? What has to happen? And based on your answer, I'm going to have a follow-up question.
You're gonna have to reword that in a way. Are you saying if the mother finds out that she's pregnant at 24 or 26 weeks?
Either way, let's just say at 20 weeks or 21 weeks, whenever the child is actually quote unquote viable, right? Like there's a chance that they
26
can
weeks.
live
It's a
outside
lot
the womb.
further than that. The chances are very low for
Well,
21 weeks.
viability's prior to 26 weeks.
For the
Because
chances of them
viability,
surviving, they can survive for 2 hours, but it's not going to be them going home.
okay, so what's the threshold then? What is your viability stance? What is the amount of time needed for them to survive outside the womb before you grant them moral status?
Well, the goal is for them to go home, and that usually they're able to help support a fetus around that 26. It's still a high percentage of them dying, but they have a 50-50 chance depending on how that baby goes. So
Okay,
if
so
that baby
wasn't the
can make it
question he
home at
asked.
26,
Yeah, that wasn't the question.
so is that your answer? Is that it needs to be at 26 weeks?
that's the least it can be.
No. Viability is just when they can. Viability, the standard usually is when they. It's commonly known. It's when it is possible for them to be able to live outside the womb.
Guys, the point of the point of
earliest has
having
been
a
21.
baby is
I believe it's been like 21 weeks, 6 days. Again, let's just say for the sake of argument, right? I'm just going to do this, right? Let's just say it's like 24 weeks, right? 24 weeks, I think, is like the standard answer, like a lot of coaches get. Or you said it has to be 26.
the goal of getting pregnant with wanting a baby is to bring that baby home.
Okay,
That's
that wasn't my
that. No, I
question.
know that's not what you're really asking, but I'm just saying like
So then
anything
how does that?
before 24 or 26 weeks, it's so until then you can want your baby as much.
I don't know
But
what
if
you're
something
answering.
happens, I'm just saying like I really don't know what you're asking anymore. Because
Okay, so
before
I'm gonna try to
26
help you
weeks,
understand what I'm asking. Okay, so at 24, say 24, 26 weeks, right? Do you think at that particular point that the mother should be required to carry to term her pregnancy, or would you say that, she can have a lethal abortion, or at that particular point, do you think that if she doesn't want to carry the child anymore, that she should be required to like then at that point induce labor? What would be the options under your worldview?
so you're asking me if I think if abortion is okay for that period, basically.
I gave you three options. Can you repeat
Yeah,
those
you
three
asked me.
options
You
for
said
me?
you said the abortion and then her being induced.
Three options, right? You understand what an induction is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You understand what her being required to carry to term is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you understand the idea of her just being able to abort if she wants to, right? Those are the three options.
Okay.
Which one best aligns with your worldview at that particular point?
Abortion.
So she could have an abortion if she wants to at 26 weeks, right?
Wanting somebody to parent a child they don't want is a crazy mindset. So yes.
Yeah, so then at 39 weeks, she could have an abortion too, correct? If she doesn't want the child at that point.
The baby's full term and it doesn't have a 50-50 chance of surviving.
Not been
So
delivered.
no.
It has not been delivered yet. And you said that having a baby that someone doesn't want is a crazy mind frame.
Yes.
So at 39 weeks, it would be okay for her to have a lethal abortion to make sure that she doesn't have that child she doesn't want, correct?
Sure.
Yep. So her viability stance that she just walked you through was absolute just a waste of time and a gimmick. That's not her stance.
Because
She's all
why
9
do you
months.
want me to say a woman should have a
She's
child she
all
doesn't
9
want?
months. That's
I mean,
what
because
she
it
is.
sounds shitty. I'm not gonna say it, but with the
Like,
full
it would've
term
been so
baby.
much better
Pia.
if she would have been
Hey,
honest.
Pia. This is the problem. Okay, this is the problem. Okay, the problem is you keep changing your argument. That's the problem. That's why
The
everybody's
problem
getting
is you guys would rather a woman want a child.
Pia, you're just really
He's
acting.
intellectually dishonest.
You're just being really emotional right now. You just
Completely
keep
dishonest.
changing, Pia. You keep changing your argument because you're just throwing darts. Okay, you don't have a grounded argument. Okay,
Okay, so what's
you're
your grounded argument for? Okay, I'll switch it. So what's your argument, or I guess what one of the three of people who talked
Burden
to me already?
shifting, burden
Well,
shifting. I mean,
of,
you
of a
wait, hold
woman
on.
having a child that she does not want.
Wait,
No,
wait, hold on. Host is
hold on.
talking. Excuse me. Excuse me. Host
What's
is
the
talking.
argument of you
Excuse
having a
me.
child that you do not want?
Excuse me. Host is talking. So do you concede yours because you can't defend yours?
I'll give her my stance if she wants to attack it once
Wait,
she
wait. Hold on. Does she concede?
Wait, I don't know what the host said.
Do you concede your stance because you can't defend it?
Do you think your stance is not good enough to debate? Is what he's trying to say.
I mean, I understood what he said. I mean, I still stand by what I said. So,
I mean,
Well,
you can't keep defending
You
it.
need to go back to the drawing board, Pia. You
And-
don't.
okay,
You're all
well,
over.
I asked
you're-
you guys
I'm
why
not
you
trying to be
think-
rude. I'm not. I'm really not
I mean,
trying to
I
be
didn't
rude.
call you
but-
rude. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you need to
But
figure
why
out
do you
what
guys
your
think
stance
that
is
a
before
woman
you-
should have a baby that she does not want?
Okay.
Because usually pro-lifers usually start very
Wait.
early.
Just stop there. We have to go slow. Okay, don't gish gallop. Okay,
Whoa,
do you know what
what
gish
happened when
galloping is?
Eminem was gish gallowing?
Okay, so you said
Yeah,
that
what
she
happened to that?
shouldn't.
When
She
did I do
shouldn't.
this?
Okay, let's just go with that. Let's start over. Okay, your argument is she shouldn't have a baby she doesn't want. Okay, here's the problem, Pia. The baby is already here.
No,
Okay,
it's not. It's a fetus.
Okay, the fetus. I don't care what you want to call it. A fetus.
Determined
Okay,
She should define what
Pia,
fetus
Pia,
is. I don't think she knows what
Pia.
a fetus is.
Okay, if you want to, I don't know if somebody can bring it up on screen, but I'll tell you, Pia. I'll tell you what it is, or you can Google it, whatever you would prefer. The definition of fetus is offspring. Okay, that's what fetus means. Offspring. Okay, now, are you still there, Pia?
She's googling it.
Here, I
Okay, so-
can put it on the screen for her.
Thanks, Bunny.
I have it.
So, Pia, if you can still hear me, so fetus is just the name of a stage of development, okay? So most mammals don't have a lot of stages of development, like embryo, fetus, and then it's a puppy, and then it's a dog, okay? Humans have a lot of stages of development, okay? We're like a bit more complex, right? So we have embryo, fetus, then we have neonate, newborn, toddler, child, teenager, middle-aged adult, elderly person. Those are human stages of development. All fetus is the name of a stage of development of the unborn child. Okay? Are you there, Pia?
Right.
Muted. We can't hear you if you're not in the app. You're on Coffee Cup right now. You can probably hear me, but I can't hear you.
Yeah.
So
that's what I
okay.
said.
What is what you said?
Oh, I mean the fetus. I mean, I'm thinking.
I know
that
it's
you
a
guys-
fetus. I
I mean,
know
she
it's a
was
fetus.
gone
I'm
anyways.
not an idiot. I know that it's a
that's
fetus.
what I just said. I know
You're-
what it is. I didn't call you. an
Okay,
idiot.
Pia,
Calm
Pia,
down.
a fetus. Pia, what you're not tracking.
I heard you. It was a stage, and then we go from embryo to a fetus. I heard it
Yeah,
all.
so
I heard it
it's
all.
still a child.
I heard it all.
Okay,
It's a fetus. That's what you just called it. We have stages. You literally said
Yes,
from baby
is a
to
toddler
toddler
a
to
child?
child to middle age.
Pia, let me explain to you again. Let me explain to you again. I need you to put your listening ears on, okay? I'm 43 years old, okay?
Wow.
Do I have a mother? Do I have a mother?
If you were born, yes, you have a mother.
That's
You came from-
not what
you
I
came from
asked.
an-
I had
you
a
came- you
mother.
came from an egg.
I had a mother. Excuse me, Pia. Pia. Lock in with me, please.
But I don't know what you
okay?
meant by that. You asked me if you
Do
just had a mother.
I am?
Like, what-
I'm
what question
asking
is
you.
that?
I'm asking you, as a 43-year-old, do I have a mother?
Yes.
Thank you. What am I to my mother? What is the relationship?
Her child.
Correct. So I'm 43, so I can be a child only in the sense of a relationship. Now, if we have somebody who is under the age of majority, which in the United States it's 18, okay, in most states, I believe, anyone under the 18 is legally called a child. So you have two definitions of child. The fetus and the embryo meet both. Okay? They are under the age of 18, and they are also the biological offspring of their mother and their father. Okay? So the first day of your life was conception. You were a unique individual with your own DNA the moment you were conceived. And the only thing that changed is time, nutrition, oxygen. That's it. You are the same person. When you were born, that was not the first day of your life. Okay? So what we're trying to ask you, what we're asking you is, why were you only valuable when you exited the womb? You're the same person.
Because you are not a person before you exit out the womb.
Why?
Okay, let me tell you. You know the Donald Trump, how he wants to give new mothers who
I
are,
don't give a
married.
shit
Okay,
about
I know
Donald
it's not
Trump.
about Trump. It's not about
Nobody
Trump.
cares about Trump.
Nobody
I didn't
cares
even vote
about
for
Trump. I didn't vote
I'm
for
just
Trump.
saying- okay,
I can't
say
stand
Obama.
Trump.
Let's
Can
talk
you
about Obama.
fucking
Everybody loves
talk
Obama.
about
I don't care about
abortion?
any
What are you
politician.
guys talking about?
Okay?
Oh, wait,
Okay,
guys,
fine.
guys,
I won't use the politician. I won't use the
I'm
politician.
asking you,
Oh my
if
God.
you
I'm
can't
trying to get to
get
there. I'm trying to get to there.
Hey,
if you
Let's get to
can't
there. Hold
get,
on.
hey,
Kia,
hey,
Hello.
the
This is
host
talking one
is
at a
speaking.
time. One at a time. And don't bring up Trump
Okay,
again.
I'll go.
Yes.
You will not get the, oh my God, what was it? It was whatever $5,000 thing that he wanted to give. You are not going to get that if you show him a pregnancy test. You need to birth
that's
a
a
baby.
plea to legality, honey.
This is not an
I'm just
argument.
saying.
There are,
but
do Pia,
it
Pia,
shows-
wait, slow down. Go look up Georgia right now. You can coffee cup. Does Georgia have child support from conception? Go ahead, Google it.
Yeah, I don't need to because I
Google
live here.
it.
Thank you.
Does
I don't need to. I
Georgia
live here. I live here.
Pia.
I'm born and raised here. Born
Pia,
and raised. Thank you.
Pia,
Thank
Pia,
you.
you're making a plea
and
to
raised.
legality, and I'm crushing a hole right
Okay,
now.
fine. I won't
in
bring
your
up the money
argument.
thing.
Go
I
look
won't bring
up
up the money thing.
Go
I won't bring up the
look
money
up
thing.
Pia.
I won't bring up the
Go,
money thing.
Pia. Go coffee cup yourself and go look.
I live in Georgia. It's okay. It's okay.
Wait.
So what is Georgia's child support law? What is it?
Okay.
What is Georgia's child support law? Go
I
ahead.
really don't know.
I mean,
My mother never had
That's
to deal
why
with
I
that.
told you to go look it up.
He doesn't want to answer that because
So they give money to unborn children?
Yes. The
mean,
father
but
has to
how?
pay child support for his child
I mean, Kenna or Bunny can bring it up if you want.
from
child.
conception.
The law.
Go ahead, but yeah, Bunny, do you mind pulling it up? I don't know how to do the big screen stuff.
I don't know how to do it either.
I've been big screening her every time.
This is actually irrelevant too, because here's the thing: when we debate about this, we're not agreeing with the law. Obviously, if the law doesn't agree with our stance, so we're making.
But you want the
wait,
law
wait,
to
wait,
say
I'm
that
not
abortion
done.
should be
I'm not
illegal.
done. Jeez. All right, I'm making a normative case saying what ought to be or what the law should be. Okay, in this, I'm making an ought claim. I think it's wrong for women to unalive their children in utero. So
Always
any
thinking more.
legal case right now or any legal precedence is irrelevant to our debate and not necessary and just going to put mud in the water and not get a point across for you.
Okay, well, real quick question. I'll move on from it, but real quick question. Isn't this what this is all about? Is that you guys want to make abortion illegal?
It's an
Yes,
it's not
illegal,
an interesting
illegal.
conversation.
So you guys have a problem with me bringing up politics
okay.
when this is
Let me
part
help
of what
you
you want
explain. Let me
inside
help
the
you.
politics.
Let me
Listen
help
to
you
Mike. He's
understand
very
it.
good about this.
Yeah, let me help you understand it. So the reason why that we say that legality is not a good argument is for two reasons. One of them is it's not an interesting conversation. If we're only going to talk about what is the case, well, I mean, that's not going to go anywhere, right? Like, what is the case is what is the case. But let's just say it was flipped around. Let's say it didn't work in your favor. And let's just say all kinds of laws were changed to be pro-life. Are you just going to be like, oh, well, the law says that it's pro-life, so therefore there's no argument to be had because the law says this. If you're gonna say that the law says this and that's why it's okay, well then you're gonna have to do the same if it becomes pro-life. Obviously or not, you're gonna say that it's wrong. So that's why we need to talk about what ought be the case, not what is the case. That's the difference. Normatively, normative or ought statement.
Like, for example, at one time in American history, slavery was legal. Does that make slavery morally acceptable? Obviously not. So I'm not going to support that law.
I had this question or this topic in another live where slavery and abortion was both brought up. And
Human rights violations,
what
yes.
some guy was asking me if I think abortion and if I think abortion should if I said abortion should still be legal while slavery was happening, and I think I asked him if he thought the same, and he said no. So do any of you guys stand with that standpoint as a black woman on here? Do any of you guys stand with that standpoint?
Wait, are you talking about Charlie Kirk?
I would say that any human rights violation should not be legal in a law framework. So this means slavery or abortion. They're both violation of human rights under my framework. Therefore, they're both morally impermissible and should never be legal.
Right.
I mean that. Okay, but I'm saying during slavery, if abortion were to be,
I'm going to say something that's immoral should be allowed just because another thing that's immoral is allowed.
Yoo-hoo, host
The
is talking.
fuck?
Okay, look on the left. Here you go, the child support law. Here you go.
okay, but I was saying that in the aspect of like
Pia,
abortion.
you
would
made
help. I know that you guys want to move on, but
this
I'm
is what
feel like you guys are
happened.
blocking me from it.
Pia, you're being really disingenuous. You made a plea to a legal thing that Trump tried to put in place. You tried to make a plea to something that was legal, and so that is the only reason that I brought up a counter argument to your legal argument. That is the only reason I brought it up. I want you to look on the screen, okay, to the left, and look at it. You can read it.
Oh my gosh. I hate the way you talk to me. Like I don't even talk to you like that. Like it's
because
okay.
you're
It's
not
okay.
because you're being really disingenuous. As I said, I came
it.
up here to defend you. Okay,
But I didn't ask you to do
and now
that.
you're
I don't
being
even know
really
you.
disingenuous, and you are not
And
following.
you're still a pro-lifer, so it's not even like you really. I mean, you said that you saw your friend go through it, but to go through it yourself, I mean,
Listen,
maybe my mom
I
saw me go through it.
actually
And she's a
told you,
pediatrician.
I told you outright in front of this panel, many of them abolitionists, that I'm granting you the medical exception. Okay,
Granting me?
I'm granting that to you
You're
just so we
granting
can,
me?
just so we can please move past
You're
this.
granting
okay?
me?
Yes,
Hear
I'm
that? Hear how
saying
you
it was.
sound speaking to
I'm
another
gonna give
adult.
you the moral. I'm gonna
You're
give
gonna
you the
give
moral
me? Okay,
pass
stop
here.
stop
Okay,
degrading.
listen.
Stop degrading.
I'm not degrading you.
Then don't say you're
I'm letting
granting
you
me things
win
and giving
that
me
argument.
things.
I
And
don't
you're
know what
doing
is
this for me.
degrading
You
about
gave me
that.
sympathy.
No,
You gave me
guys.
empathy.
All right,
you guys-
I don't know who's a mod, but she's just she's
Yeah.
insufferable.
Right, but we're
Just
all yelling
goodbye,
at each
Pia.
other, like,
You're not interested in a debate.
Bye. Okay, that was a waste of time.
Try to be nice.
That she tried to argue viability, but never actually. But then I got into her, just pressed her just a little bit, and we saw that that wasn't
Thanks
her
for the
actual
kiss.
stance. That should have told everyone that she was never there for it to actually have an actual intellectual debate, or like actually have a good faith debate.
Okay, I think we have an opposition. Okay, Daniel, what is your age and what is your stance?
Oh heavens, I'm 28.
Are you pro-choice or pro-life?
I am pro-life.
Okay.
W. We're gonna have to save some spots for opposition. Thank you for joining.
I'm gonna drop for the night, and Matt will give you more space too. But I appreciate you having me up. You guys have a great night.
Hey, Catholic Mike, before you drop,
Yeah.
can I actually ask all of you guys? Like, I know I'm an atheist. This is gonna sound wild, but I'm like an agnostic atheist, so I could use some prayers
I will
for something
de-
I'm going through right now.
I
Thank you.
will definitely do that.
Thank
and
you.
I
Appreciate you.
asking me. God bless everyone. Have a great night.
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
Hey, girl, guys, somebody drop me a galaxy so I can prove Pia wrong.
Wait, who?
Pia, she's saying she got more money than me, so I'm gonna need somebody to drop a galaxy.
Yeah. Who cares if you have more money? What does that prove? I mean, that money clearly didn't help you come up with a coherent argument. So what's the point? Money can't buy coherent arguments.
Girl, you're the one bragging about money in the fucking comments. You're bragging about your 2 cents.
No one cares about your money.
Yeah, it's obviously a fucking joke.
All right, any opposition? Request up.
I'm just enjoying my tacos.
still need somebody to make a background that says, "Are you a born supremacist?"
Oh yeah, I have that. Let me find
Can you
it.
put like Jason Bourne's like picture like
I think I just have I think I just have a basic one. 'Cause I did ask Holly to make that. I think I just have a basic one.
So is everyone pro-life here?
Yeah.
We all
Is
are.
on the panel?
Yes.
Praise God.
Yeah, we're not delusional. Don't worry. I think I can find the prompt up.
I'm just messing with you. It's just
Oh my god. Corey, could you believe those dumb Brits from earlier?
Oh no! Wait, what?
Remember?
Oh yeah. That was hilarious.
Those freaking
The
dummies.
tracking was freaking one brain cell fighting for its life. The tracking. was
Someone
absolutely-
doesn't even understand a basic viability hypothetical.
No, what's worse is they don't.
He
even
was
understand their own
so
argument.
lost.
They don't even understand their context of their own argument that they just implemented.
Yeah.
See,
In
that's
front of
another
everyone.
problem. Like some people, like they're really like not smart about like biology and stuff, but then they really don't even know how to debate. They don't know what testing a principle means. They're so lost. Like I don't know if she was
I'm not a
young
Phil
or
bro.
what.
Like I'm not a Phil bro, but at least I know how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not that diverse in biology. I mean, not fucking biology, fucking philosophy. But at least I can tell you when life begins.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Any opposition? Request up.
You share the live. Let's see.
This is probably the most generic prompt I have.
Yeah.
Is this talking about white tea supremacy?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Born Supremacist?
No.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
I wanted to use the other prompt, but you can't have imagery on this app.
You can't have what on it?
You can't have third Reich. You can't have third Reich imagery on this app.
Oh.
I just don't get how like racism is a social construct, but people could say it's like you're you're born racist.
All right.
I don't know why that individual thought they had a got you moment when I said I'm not going to allow any human rights violation to occur.
Yeah.
And I will not support any human rights violation.
And then she wants
I wonder
to-
why they thought that was a gotcha.
Like, does she
Like,
want
and
to-
just because one human rights violation is occurring doesn't mean I want a second one should be allowed. Like, what the fuck?
So stupid. They think that.
Are there any daddies in the house?
Oh,
Happy Father's Day.
I'm a daddy.
You daddy?
I'm a daddy. Yeah.
I mean, it's over for me. I mean, it's like 12 midnight already. Anyone want to request up? You can fix. I mean, I don't know. I'll suggested this one. You add Jason Bourne. I don't think that's.
You don't have to use it. I was just.
Yeah.
Mm.
I do have another prompt that Holly was making.
Maybe you should restart.
I guess. Probably with a new prompt. I mean, they never want to join the panel.
Oh, I see. Hello. Is Margaret still in here? Sibby, share the live back with Margaret.
Who? Oh yeah, sure.
Mansion. Boys, I'm telling you, you should restart the live.
That would probably be for the best with a new prompt.
Yeah.
I'll join back.
Okay, I'll come back.
All right, I should probably make it into which one?
I'll be the first one back.
Yeah, this one. I guess I'll make it into this one.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Ooh, that's
Who is that?
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, Wayne Gacy.
He's a famous serial unaliver.
Of the children.
Yeah, he would dress up as a clown, get the children to, follow him and stuff like that.
Oh, so is that what it's based off of?
Yes.
Yeah, actually. Stephen King took principles of a lot of his crimes and added, obviously changed it, but yeah.
I never knew that.
Alright, everyone. I'm gonna head out for the night, actually, but y'all have a good night.
Have a good
Fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Y'all have a good night.
Oh wait, which one was it? Yeah, I meant to put Unalive on it. That was my bad. Too sensitive, this app.
We're gonna restart though.
Yes. Alright, guys, thanks for coming. We'll restart in like a few minutes. Wait, hold on. I think we have an opposition.
Oh.
Wait, I thought they connected. Oh, let's accept them. Alright. What is your age and what is your stance?
36, pro-choice.
Why are you pro-choice?
Okay, I'm pro-choice, but I also want to add this caveat. 95% of abortions are elective, meaning it's just accidents.
Okay,
So I think that number needs to go way down,
Well,
literally.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by like accidents? What does that mean?
Meaning elective abortions, meaning it wasn't rape, it wasn't some kind of weird circumstance.
Well, I know that, but like, why would you consider those like accidents?
I just meant elective. People were just consensually having smacks and messed up and accidentally got.
Oh, you're saying the causal is accidental, not the
Right, and
AB as being accidental.
And I think if you need to treat the D, if like a loaded gun, you can get a P, you can get pregnant. So, and if you do, you should just face the consequences.
All right.
But at the end of the day, I'm pro-choice because if I was I don't know what it's like to be a woman. If I was a woman, I know you hear this cop out a lot, but if I was a woman, I would want to have that switch.
I'm a woman and I don't want this right.
Well, I mean, what do you think then? What
Is this even a serious argument right now?
No, this is just an ad.
I'm pro. I'm like on the
Are you
edge.
just trolling?
Have you been like
Well, shut the fuck up, dude.
Oh man!
hitting the
That's
bottle
you're trolling.
tonight?
You get a little butthurt.
Well, you're being rude.
How about being rude?
Are you inebriated?
Look, somebody's having a special moment right now.
He's flirting, bro.
Are you? Wait,
I
are
think
you?
I don't know. I have a feeling you should drop him just to be safe.
Yeah.
I have a feeling somebody's been consuming beverages tonight.
I have a feeling that your username isn't the best.
Well,
like I really care. Look at this guy.
Wait,
What's up, clown?
Excuse me. Are you saying the electives are impermissible?
I dropped him. He was intoxicated.
Yeah.
That guy was not right. He didn't even have a stance.
I don't think he was intellectual enough to have this conversation, so we have to move on.
Even if it was an accident, it's still an elective to get an abortion.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by accident.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by accident too, because if you're taking like precautionary measures, that means you understand that this is a possible outcome for the actions in
That's
which you're
exactly
taking.
what I was about to say. Like, let's just pretend like there's some precautionary measures that I can put in place and presuppose like this is still. I'm taking all the precautionary measures necessary to the highest.
That means you understand.
Yeah, exactly. But then at that point, you still understand. You still understand the risk to an even higher degree than someone else who is not.
Say if you're making precautionary actions to avoid something and it still happens, that means you're definitely responsible for it because you understand the consequences that could occur.
Yeah. Yep.
It's funny when they use that argument because I was like, no,
That is the
just
worst
means-
argument in the world.
I was like, it just means you understand what could occur, and since you understand, you're acknowledging that this might be an outcome. Therefore, you're going to take on the responsibilities for this.
So if you get P, then take the L. Have a baby.
Aren't L. Babies are all W's.
All right, I guess I'll have to restart the new prompt. I'm trying to find something else to put, but yeah. All right, guys, thanks for coming. I'm gonna restart in like a few seconds.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.